Happy 2026. Of course, here in Pasadena, soggy start to the new year. Cloud ceiling is low, but the spirits are very high. And a very compelling, interesting matchup between one of the true blue bloods in the program and Indiana, one of the best stories in sports, period, with what they've done to get here in year two under Curt Cignetti. A lot of crimson in here. It's hard to tell the fans apart, but it'll be electric when the game gets going. The CFP quarterfinal at the Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential, and welcome to the Ram Trucks kickoff. Only 6 teams alive for the championship chase. It'll wrap up down in Miami, and the winner of this one will advance to take on Oregon in the Peach Bowl. Miami awaits the winner of the game to follow, Ole Miss and Georgia. And welcome Chris and Kirk from the Herb Street Family Broadcast booth. That's very cool. And the Keith Jackson Broadcast Center, also very cool.
Very, very cool.
Great to be with you for year number 10 here. If you look at the playoff storyline so far, defenses have really ruled. We've got 2 good defenses today, but boy, it's been tough to score points in the CFP so far.
Yeah, it really has. And the other thing that's continued going back to last year, the teams that get to bye, you would think have an advantage, but it's been 6 straight now. 4 last year, the first 2 this year. Teams get out of rhythm. We'll see if that continues. That would not be good news for Indiana.
We're going to find out together if it's rest or rust for Cignetti's team. The season was spectacular. Of course, knocking off Ohio State to win the Big Ten championship outright for the first time since World War II. Mendoza becomes the first Indiana Heisman Trophy winner a week later. But there is that 26-day layoff, since they played. And Cignetti said he had to, quote, rock their world. Some harsh words to kind of get them back grounded. He knows how to do that.
Yeah, he does. It's been incredible to watch what he's been able to do in just 2 years. They got into the CFP last year, got knocked out by Notre Dame. This is a very different Indiana team, not just in their second year with Cignetti, with a new quarterback in Fernando Mendoza, but they've been battle-tested. They went to Iowa, they went to Oregon, they went to Penn State, played Ohio State and Indy, all 4 of those away from Bloomington. And sitting down yesterday with Fernando and the coaches, you just felt this is a confident team. They love each other, they believe in each other. It's almost like anything that's put in front of them, they look at each other like we've been through this. We're going to find a way to kind of answer the bell. Now, this will be a good test for them. Alabama, especially defensively, going to come after Mendoza with a variety of different ways. This will be a good test for them.
Like Mendoza, this tough Hoosiers defense built through the portal, but it's a very experienced team. A lot of dudes who are in their 4th, 5th, 6th year of college football, and that's been the pattern for teams that have contended and won the championships in recent years. Alabama, also a veteran team, and they are certainly battle-tested coming out of the SEC. They lost to Georgia in that game, but 100 years ago today, the first ever Bama Bowl game and their first ever national championship. They knocked off Washington. Nick Saban, the first of his 6 titles in Tuscaloosa, came here against Texas on this field, not in a Rose Bowl game. And Kalen DeBoer in year 2 has Alabama peaking, he hopes, at the right time as they came off the canvas in Norman from 17 down to win that first round game.
Yeah, been incredible what he's done, the pressure to be able to be the next guy after Nick Saban. Can you imagine being that guy? But I think his attitude and his approach to the job allows him to be successful. And I think the big thing for him is I think he's got a team with a quarterback much like Indiana with Mendoza, with Ty Simpson. Now, let's face it, Alabama's not been able to run the ball. If you've not seen Alabama this year, this is not your old school Alabama. Win the line of scrimmage, run the football. 70% of their offensive production has been Simpson in the passing game. In my opinion, against a very, very aggressive Indiana defense that wants to get upfield, give you a lot of different looks. I think they need more balance. If they are just going to rely on Ty Simpson in the passing game, I don't know if that's going to be enough. They got to establish the run game.
Indiana's defense so disruptive. They are ready from snap 1, and that's what Simpson has to be ready to match. They take the ball away. They set the tone for their team. So interesting matchup here. Again, you can throw history out the window. Sure, Alabama's got all those championships. Indiana's new to this, but this team, the Hoosiers, believes they're ready for a huge breakthrough. Can't wait to get going here. The public address announcer is Chuck White to take us through the pregame.
Joint Color Guard, composed of service members from across Southern California. The commander for today's Color Guard is Colonel Stephen Chadwick, commander of Fort Irwin, California. We now invite those that are willing and able to stand as we play our national anthem, performed by the Indiana University Marching 100 under the direction of Dr. Tiffany Galis.
The first ever collision of these two teams dressed in crimson. Alabama, Indiana coming up. This has been the Ram Trucks kickoff closing in from Pasadena when you come back.
For more than a century, this stadium has stood at the heart of college football.
An unforgettable Rose Bowl.
It holds the past in its walls and the future in its air, where dreams step into the light. Today, two teams draped in crimson enter its glowing embrace, facing one another for the very first time. Welcome to the granddaddy of them all.
I think this setting in the history and the soul of this stadium just comes alive on a day like this.
We hope we're in for something special here this afternoon in Pasadena.
Fires it down the field. It's for Elijah Serrani. Makes the catch. Touchdown! Indiana has beat the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Well, that was a real gutty performance. Sing that song.
Intercepted. Headed the other way. Touchdown time.
To be able to keep your composure and climb back into this game is incredible.
Down 17. Down 17. Yes, sir.
Can you believe it?
That's what makes college football so good.
Euphoria is the common feeling. The fans whose teams have made it here. Hoosier fans tell me it feels like a dream of a dream. That's how far-fetched for decades it seemed to get here. Alabama, of course, has played in the most Rose Bowls other than Big Ten Pac-12 teams. Ram Truck showing you the comparison. Hoosiers playing their first game as a #1. That's old hat for Bama. Back-to-back 10-win seasons. But again, that's the past. Signetti believes it has nothing to do with what's going to unfold today. And here come the Big Ten champion, 13-0 Hoosiers. The only team that has a chance to finish 16-0. That's never been done in the modern era of the sport. The first step must be taken today. Kalen DeBoer, like Signetti, came up steadily through the lower divisions of football. He's won everywhere he's gone. Alabama, the third consecutive game, taking the field as an underdog, almost a touchdown dog to the Hoosiers. That's a snapshot of the times, Kirk.
It really is. But they seem to relish being in that situation.
Simpson and the captains for Alabama head out. That's Parker Brails for number 72. The center has a tough assignment against this stout Indiana front. It's a Big 12 crew officiating this Rose Bowl game today. Kevin Marr is the referee. And he'll take us through the coin toss.
Gentlemen, Happy New Year, and welcome to the College Football Playoff Quarterfinal at the Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential. My name is Kevin Marr. I'm with the Big 12 Conference. Alongside with me is Mr. Rick Pedraza, our umpire. I'd like to take this time right now to recognize our important guests right now. First off, the president of the Tournament of Rose Association, Mr. Mark Levins. Next, the Grand Marshal of the Tournament of Roses, Mr. Irvin Magic Johnson. Gentlemen, the coin, please. Thank you.
Okay.
The coin has two logos on it. One side has the Alabama Crimson Tide logo. The other side is the Indiana Hoosiers. The coin toss winner will be determined by whichever side's team's logo is facing up. Got it? Ready to go. Here we go. Alabama Crimson Tide has won the toss. They've elected to defer their option till the second half. You want the ball. Which direction would you like to kick? Put your back over there, please.
So we'll see Mendoza and the Indiana offense up first against this Alabama defense. Great to have Chris Budden and Holly Rowe doing that great work on the sidelines. And let's go down to Holly on the Hoosiers side with Kurt Signetti.
Well, Coach, you get the ball first. Your team has answered the bell every game this year. Fernando Mendoza been brilliant. What does he need to do on this opening drive to continue that trend?
Well, Fernando, like everybody else, just has to execute, right? One play at a time, 11 guys doing their job. Not addition, it's multiplication.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach. We appreciate it. Indiana will be without their best defensive player. Stephen Daly was injured in a freak accident celebrating after the Big Ten championship game. Coach said you cannot minimize his loss. 19 and a half tackles for loss. So look for them to start Mario Blandino outside. He's been a tackle. He may play on the edge. They've got about 4 scenarios. Mikel Kamara will also have to step up. Let's check in now with Chris Budden.
And Coach, the emphasis this week has been on starting fast on offense. How do you accomplish that?
Everyone just got to own their job, do what they're capable of, not try to do too much, just hone in on your responsibility.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
This is as healthy as Alabama has been pretty much all season, but there is concern today about tight end Josh GWES. He's been dealing with back spasms since he got here to Pasadena. I'm told that it feels almost like a bone bruise on the back. He is wearing an extra flak jacket to help with the pain. He went through pregame warm-ups. I was told that he is truly a game-time decision. It depends on how he feels when this thing kicks off, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. L.T. Overton, one of the stalwarts on the defensive line, does return for Alabama. Time to kick it away, and we're about to see Mendoza and this Hoosier offense, the biggest stage this program has ever been on. Connor Talty to boot it away. Roman Hemby, excellent running back for the Hoosiers, is back deep. Here we go. And the line drive kick will sail out of the end zone, and the Hoosiers will start at the 25-yard line. Mendoza from Cal to Indiana. Kirk, a quantum improvement. He's talked about getting the coaching of Signetti and Shanahan and Chandler, how much he has improved. He's really the same regardless of the game situation. Trailing, leading, and the team appreciates that steadiness.
Well, it's been incredible to watch in his first year. I know that's commonplace in the game today with his transfer portal, but took command of the offense and became the face of this team.
22-year-old from Miami looking to throw in the first play, feels pressure, and the Tide will get a sack right away, and that's Yanze Pierre, who's emerged as the top pass rusher on this team.
Okay, if you've not watched Alabama, they've been playing a ton of zone and sitting back, not blitzing as much as you would think. I think the plan's going to change today because they want to make Mendoza uncomfortable. And the very first play, Kane Womack, the defensive coordinator, dials up both those linebackers and they get home.
It's the 19th time all season that Mendoza has been sacked. 2nd and 12. Handoff inside, and that's Hemby, who gets a nice chunk of yardage. He's one of the impact players here today.
Yeah, Hemby, we just saw the very, very important. This team can run the football. They need balance. Omar Cooper, who made that sensational catch at the end of that Penn State game, number 3, obviously a guy to keep an eye on. Pierre, we just saw him on that first play, what he's capable of doing, their best pass rusher. And Xavier Brown, they're going to play a lot more man-to-man. The corner's going to have to hold up on islands. He's down at the bottom there against the IU receiver.
Hoosiers, the #1 offense in terms of third down conversions, 56%. Need 4. Mendoza harassed. 2 sacks for the Tide in the opening series. That was Bray Hubbard. The aggression you just talked about as they get a little exotic there.
Yeah, and in fact, they created a little bit of confusion by moving a little bit late. Watch Hubbard right here. He ends up moving around. By the time he comes over, look how he comes clean. You saw the back there. Hemby stepped up to pick up the backer. But again, that's going to be the theme tonight until Indiana proves that they can handle it. More pressure from Alabama.
Boy, they have struggled all season, Kirk. We've seen it plenty to find a pass rush. It has suddenly arrived at the right time.
No doubt.
The last couple of games, Mitch McCarthy to boot it away. He seldom has punted this year as the Hoosiers offense has been so prolific. That's not one of his best. Going off the side of the foot and rolls out of bounds near the Alabama 40. So Ty Simpson, fully aware that this offense has struggled early in games. He's been hit a lot. He's been roughed up a bit. This Indiana defense, Kirk, has a habit of being ready from the first snap. They do something almost every game to set the tone for the offense.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that Alabama's got to see, and we mentioned in the open, the running game, they don't need to run a ton, but enough to make Indiana have to respect it. 71% of their offensive yards have come through the pass. In the last 2 games, 95% through the air.
Empty backfield on the first snap, dealing with some crowd noise. This is a pro-Indiana crowd in Pasadena. Simpson has plenty of time and now tries to create on the move. Hit as he gets it away. Cuevas was in the area, but a good job by the coverage guys as Landino got there to pressure finally one of your impact players.
I'm going Caden Proctor because of the importance of the offensive line playing well against the multiple looks of Indiana. Bernard, of course, very talented, probably most talented football player on the Alabama team, number 5. Landino is going to have to move around with Daly down. Keep an eye on 97. And Hardy, what a year he has had. A 0-star recruit early, went to Navy, transferred to IU. He's in the middle, number 21.
It's hard to pick 2 impact players in that defense. There's so many of them. And here's a catch on the perimeter. They want to get early touches for the electric Ryan Williams. He's brought down quickly by Jamari Sharp after a 4-yard gain.
And Bryant Haynes, I think one of the top young defensive coordinators in the game. Indiana locked him up to a long-term contract. And then, of course, Ryan Grubb trying to get some early completions, easy completions to get Ty Simpson settled into this game.
Third down's been a struggle for Alabama against Power 4 teams. Last 5 games, under 30% conversion. Here comes a late blitz underneath. It's the running back, Daniel Hill, who makes the catch and stretches for a first down.
They moved, they kind of watched the stunt movement. They're going to try to really affect the communication. Good job by the center, Brailsford. They just leaked him out. Little angle route, 4-on-4. Knew exactly where he needed to go to get that first down and is just able to extend to pick up the first down of the game.
Aiden Fisher, tremendous middle linebacker. He is the green dot that communicates with the sidelines. He was barely set when they snapped at that time, wasn't he? Simpson play action on first down, feels some pressure, and tries to create on the move, and it's a check down to Cuevas over there, who is starting the game, and that's a good sign for Alabama fans.
Yeah, Indiana took away the deeper routes, sitting back more in his zone coverage. Thing that really surprised you if you've not seen Ty Simpson play is mobility. He can move around within that pocket, does a nice job that time of buying time and then keeping his eyes downfield to find Cuevas to pick up some positive yards. But Indiana sat back, took all those deep routes away. It was really his only answer.
First 4 plays for Alabama, passes. And now the first run. Hill has some space on the left side, hurdles, and picks up another first down.
We saw flashes of Hill in the game against Oklahoma where he looked healthier. Now he's had another week and a half or so to be able to recover and continue. He's really known more as their power back. Jam Miller brings a little bit more quickness, but what a hole opened up there on the left side behind Caden Proctor.
Big 366-pound tackle. They believe they can perhaps overmatch a quick but smaller defensive front. This time they try the right side with no success. The Tide's offensive line.
Look at the size. Yeah, the size difference. In Indiana isn't the biggest. These guys are 366, 332, 290. Brailsford the smallest but athletic, 324, 321, the true freshman. But Indiana makes up for it with a lack of size, with tremendous quickness in the scheme itself, by a lot of movement with that defensive line. Their goal is to penetrate. They want to get upfield to try to disrupt the offense's rhythm and let those linebackers, 21 and 4, clean it up.
Bama got to the line very quickly, so plenty of time to adjust what the Hoosiers were showing. Simpson looking to throw quickly, finds Hill behind the line of scrimmage, and he'll lose yardage. Devin Boykin closed him down, and they lose 4.
We talked about Hardy, as he's a guy that really does a nice job of bringing pressure. He's able to get loose. This year he has 8 sacks on the year. You can see Simpson barely able to follow through. And what a play out there on the edge by the nickel. Boykin got off the block, able to make a tackle off of that in the backfield. Great play there.
Need 14 for a first down. Got to get a little bit closer to get comfortable field goal range for Connor Talty. Jam Miller now the back. Hoosiers are showing pressure. Don't bring it, except off the edge, a free runner. Simpson has to heave it downfield on the run, and it's almost intercepted. Ryan Williams had to play DB to prevent the takeaway.
Well, we all wondered what could Indiana do without Daly to be able to get pressure. Well, this is zone pressure. You bring this, you drop here, create some kind of doubt or confusion for Proctor, the left tackle. Luckily, Simpson's athletic, but watch the defensive play here by Ryan Williams, the receiver. At the end of that play, and that comes close to being an interception, but he's able to knock that football away from Moore and prevent the pick.
So Bama picks up a couple first downs, and now Blake Dowd will try to pin the Hoosiers deep. Drops that point, kicks it high with backspin, and it's going to bounce. And on this nice soft turf, which has taken some rain the last couple hours, doesn't bounce far. So Alabama does their job, and in a field position game, Mendoza takes over from the 3.
Mommy, this is your trophy as much as it is mine. You've always been my biggest fan. You're my light. You're my why. You're my biggest supporter. Your sacrifices, courage, love, those have been my first playbook and the playbook that I'm going to carry through my side through my entire life.
That's Elsa right there. Mommy is M-A-M-I, kind of in the Latin tradition. That's a great family photo after they won the Big Ten championship. 2 younger brothers, including Alberto, who is the backup here. Fernando Mendoza, the 4th. Quarterback here is the 5th in his family to carry that name. And hand it off to Kalen Black. Short gain. Also says battle multiple sclerosis. The family grew up very near the Hurricanes campus down there in Coral Gables.
He told us that yesterday. Right across the street. Can't imagine what they've experienced this year as a family. So much emotion, see their son having such an exciting year. First series, he was sacked on his first 2 dropbacks. Alabama, again, they are dialing up pressure, very confident that they can come after him. Indiana needs to respond with some quick throws.
There's another run to Kalen Black. He bursts forward and sets up a 3rd and short now.
There's Kane Womack on the left, the defensive coordinator from Alabama. Mike Shanahan does such a great job as a play caller for the Hoosiers. Mentioned Kane Womack has really put more of a shell on the defense. Put a lid on the top, keep everything in front, make teams drive 10 or 12 plays and execute in the red zone. Tonight, I think it's going to be a very different approach. Like I said in the open, it's going to be more aggressive, more man-to-man, more blitzing.
See what Cignetti calls on 3rd and 2. They get Mendoza on the move, and he flips over the middle, and it's a completion for a first down to Elijah Surratt in front of Xavier Brown.
What a job by Surratt here of just finding the open space. Came off of a tight coverage there. Look where the ball is thrown away from the defender to Xavier Brown. 3rd down. This is what Mendoza has done all year. He is clutch in big moments. Here they are pinned inside their own 5-yard line early in the game. Things aren't off to a great start. And on 3rd down, where Bama has a chance to get him off the field, he makes a great throw off schedule.
Excellent receiving core. They got 4 main weapons, and that tight end Nowakowski. That's Surratt again on the edge, and he just plows forward for about 9.
But very close. We saw in Miami last night, Keontae Scott make this play right here where he jumped it and picked it off against Ohio State. To me, it looked like Red Morgan was thinking the same thing. He saw everything he needed to see as an indicator to think that ball's coming out quickly. Mentioned, what will you do to counter Womack's aggressive blitzing defense? Those quick throws, screens, quick balls to the perimeter. Try to slow them down, then you get back to your running game and your RPO and play action.
2nd and short. Pitch it to the edge again, and one more time it's Surratt, who can't escape the tackle of Brown that time, and they're going to spot him just a little short. So 3rd down, about half a yard.
Yeah, another quick throw there to the perimeter. Again, that's a great answer to what Alabama is doing. It puts Alabama's corners in a one-on-one situation where Xavier Brown's got to make a play in space against Surratt, who's a bigger receiver, 6'2", about 213 pounds. And now they're playing on their terms. 3rd and a yard, 3rd and a half a yard.
Nowakowski, the tight end, playing the fullback position in front of Hemby. And Hemby hit hard in the hole by Justin Jefferson, but it's a first down.
You know, Carter Smith, who's the top offensive lineman, is offensive lineman of the year in the Big Ten. It's time they move him in. It's almost as an extra fullback. Just a little wrinkle there. Put a Johnny there at left tackle. So they went super big and used the Big Ten offensive lineman of the year that time as I said, as a kind of that jumbo look.
It was the safety Hubbard who made the stop, but the Hoosiers backed up deep, got a little something going here now, and it's Hemby off the left side. Indiana very, very balanced. When you take out the time when they were way ahead in games, it's about a 50-50 run-pass split.
Yeah, and I think if you think about their style, they like to run the ball. They like play action, but they really like the RPO game, RPO run-pass option. You'll see a lot of times he'll hand the ball off, and you'll see the fake throw. And people are thinking, what the heck is he doing with the fake throw? There's going to be a lot of times he's going to not hand it off because the look of the defense, pull it and throw it. So he's just trying to create some doubt on that second and third level of the defense of whether he's handing it or throwing it.
2nd and 9, the Tide show pressure but don't bring it, and a downfield shot and caught on the sidelines. Getting the foot down was Charlie Becker. He's the speedster, the best deep threat on this offense.
He really is. He's really come on lately. Does he get the toe tap? He certainly does. What a route. Really good timing. Mentioned Bama's going to play some man-to-man. That's him going up against Xavier Brown, and he beats him on a very well-designed play and a great route, again, by Charlie Becker.
30-yard strike. Hoosiers at the Tide 40. Kalen Black picks his way, and they're so good at finding little creases and falling forward, what they kind of call dirty runs.
Absolutely, Chris. This is, I just want to go back to this play. Hubbard blitzes. This is what you're going to see a lot of. Here he is on outside 80. Look at this move against Xavier Brown. Moves to the inside, sells it, and then both receivers, Cooper and Charlie Becker, wide open against that man-to-man look from Alabama.
Mendoza throws a beautiful downfield ball, doesn't he?
He really does. And he was able to set his feet and make the throw on time.
Second and 5, 10th play of this drive. Black falls forward again. Doesn't look like much. And these guys, I think, run bigger than they actually are. Just run angry, you think?
I think they run angry. You got Hemby, who's transferred from Maryland. Black, of course, came with coach from JMU. They look like guys that have been told you're not quite fast enough, you're not quite big enough. They just collectively, I think, you just think of the Indiana running game. You think of guys that play with a chip on their shoulder and run downhill. They get the attention of the defense, especially the linebackers and safeties. And again, that's what sets up the RPO and the play action game when they get the one-on-one shots.
Yeah, both guys about 210 pounds, but that's a little deceptive. Quick pitch to the perimeter. Catch made by E.J. Williams. And Xavier Brown wrestles him down, but a very effective first down play. That's what Cignetti would love to recreate again and again.
Yeah, and if you play him soft, he's going to take it. He saw pre-snap. Xavier Brown, he's done this all year. If guys are 8 to 10 yards off the ball, it's just a quick, easy throw to these receivers. That time, E.J. Williams did a nice job there coming back to the ball and positive yards. This is why they're #1 in the nation in third down efficiency. It's because they stay on schedule, 2nd and 6 and 3rd and 2. Now it's 2nd and 1.
Williams, a tall, long-arm receiver, is a physical player, excellent blocker. And again, handoff as Black powers forward for a first down. Hoosiers muscling down into the red zone. You see where they end forward progress as the Indiana faithful going crazy with that display of power against this Alabama front.
It's impressive to watch the offensive line. And even Nowakowski, the tight end, he's off to the right. You see 37. Look at that double team. They're just moving Musal out of that hole. And then there's the tough running that we just alluded to. This time it's Black and the crowd reacting to not just that line, but the toughness of the running backs that we've talked about throughout this first quarter.
And off inside to Hemby. The Hoosiers are scary efficient in the red zone. First of all, they've had 65 red zone trips, which is a crazy number, but 47 touchdowns, Kirk.
Think about this, the way the game started. Alabama came out being aggressive. They punted the ball inside the 5-yard line. We thought maybe Kane Womack and this Alabama defense had them right where they want them. Well, this is about to be the 14th play of this drive that started inside their own 5-yard line. Over 7 minutes off the clock.
Mendoza 5 for 5 since those 2 sacks in the opening sequence. 2 tight ends for the Hoosiers and a timeout taken by Cignetti. Get things sorted out. Briskly paced opening quarter, and the Hoosiers on the doorstep. 2nd and 9 when you come back.
The CFP quarterfinal at the Rose Bowl game is presented by Prudential. Everyone has something to protect. Protect your life's work with Prudential. And in part by Verbo. Enter Verbo Sweepstakes at verbosweeps.com for your chance to win a free stay.
High school senior Serena Guo, the 107th Rose Bowl queen. You saw Magic Johnson. His teams at Michigan State used to do battle on the hardwood, these Hoosiers teams.
Those are some great games when he was there.
Soggy parade, but people just show up and have a tremendous time. So much goes into that, and it's too bad. It's so rare to have a rainy New Year's Day out there.
Yeah. But how about, we had rain this morning. It was a mess on game day this morning, but boy, the clouds cleared out a little, tonight.
Both coaches concerned about the playing field, not the rain in the air, and the field seems to be holding up okay. Mendoza and the Hoosiers kind of punch it in here. 2nd and 9. Hemby motions out. Mendoza took a peek that way. Now throws into the middle. And the tight end, Nowakowski, is drilled by big Tim Keenan, elite nose tackle.
Boy, he is really the leader and the alpha, and he just does a great job of kind of feeling this. I think he just sensed it. He's a veteran guy, knew that the timing of what was happening up front in front of him was not, he just seemed off. And he's able to come off of that, follow his instincts, and let him right to the ball to Nowakowski.
He was eager for this matchup against Pat Coogan, the fine center for Indiana, of course, played at Notre Dame. Had a CFP run to the championship a year ago.
They better hurry, down to 7.
3rd and 9, final 30 seconds. Hemby runs right into traffic. You're right, that play had a weird feel. The operation was a little slow.
Yeah, the play got into him a little bit late getting out of the huddle. This is, he's saying, let's go. He's fully aware of what's going on. Come on, I need the call. He's doing everything he can there. That's the universal sign, so I need help. Give me a play.
Knocking on the helmet, trying to see if the microphone wasn't working, maybe. So here comes Niko Radicic for a 31-yard field goal attempt. Missed just once. It was against Ohio State. Didn't end up being costly in that Big Ten championship game win. Visited with Radicic yesterday. His parents come from Croatia. He moved to Texas, and he was encouraged to join the football team as a kicker. Those guys said, soccer is nice, but we need you on the football team.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job.
Tremendous year. Football was wet and had to change it out a little bit. That's why the delay here. So they don't reach the end zone, Kurt, but a 15-play, 84-yard drive, 8:40 off the clock. From their 3, ending up eventually at the Alabama 13. And the field goal attempt will be the first play of the 2nd quarter. End of 15 minutes. Hoosiers trying to break a scoreless tie. You're watching the Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential. Glad you're with us here on the first day of 2026. It was a curious play call, wasn't it, Kirk? And communication apparently the problem.
I think that's what was happening. We were wondering, it was 3rd and 9.5. It was 3rd and 10. Mendoza's looking, guys, play clock is running down. I need a call. Keep in mind, they got a chance to score a touchdown here. It's 3rd and 10. You're thinking they're going to throw the football. Instead of calling a timeout, they break the huddle. They run right up the middle for no gain. So they miss an opportunity. They still can get a field goal, but miss an opportunity at a touchdown.
Mike Shanahan is the play caller up in the booth. So after all that, 31-yard field goal to cap a long march by the Hoosiers, and they draw first blood in the first play of the 2nd quarter. Tell that Cignetti annoyed. That's kind of his default expression. But his team up 3-0. Second quarter, college football playoff quarterfinal at the Rose Bowl, presented by Prudential, Goodyear, up and flying today as the weather continues to improve. Aerial coverage brought to you by our friends from Goodyear. Tried, tested, proven legendary. So Simpson and the Alabama offense back to work, down 3 after the marathon march by the Hoosiers. Good run pass mix. Converted a couple third downs. Quinn Warren as the kickoff specialist for Indiana, and Lazir Brooks will watch it sail over his head. This is year 2 of the in-helmet communications. The quarterback and one defensive player. Holly, what have you learned down there on the sidelines?
Right, they've got all hands on deck trying to work on it. Right now, from what I can see, they've got the helmet working. They can hear the commands in the helmet right now, but they don't think something is working up in the booth upstairs. So they've sent some technicians up there to try to figure out what's happening. This is not like the rule where if the coach's headsets go out, the other side has to turn off theirs. So Ty Simpson still has his helmet communication right now.
Thank you, Holly. Kevin Riley is the back for Alabama as they take over from the 25. And he's got the football running left. And he'll be dropped behind the line of scrimmage. The tackle for loss trend of this defense is a feature every single game. Nobody really does it better than they do.
Well, it's good to see him back after that broken jaw. This defense is flying to take away, again, any threat at all of their run game. This 12-team playoff last year and this year, we talked about it in the open, 0-6, the teams that have a bye, if you include last year and this year. And look at the bottom, outscored 45-3 in the first quarter.
Hoosiers trying to break that trend. I prefer to say 6-0 for the teams that have played a playoff game coming into the quarterfinals.
But it's just interesting. When you get the bye, you're supposed to have an easier path, and so far 0-for.
Handoff and run it again, and Riley dropped by Hosea Wheeler, and Isaiah Jones is going to be 3rd down and 8.
Boy, they do such a great job of just getting off of blocks. Look at them using their hands. The interior all year long, Tucker and Ladino especially, just they use movement, but they're low center of gravity. They're not the tallest, but they're quick, strong, powerful hands and able to get off blocks.
Block destruction is what all the opponents of Indiana have taken note of. They do it superbly. Play clock at 5 as Simpson drops and is going to try to run for it. Can he get there? Gets a block, and Simpson's going to be grabbed. It's right near the marker. I believe they're going to spot him a yard short. Aiden Fisher eventually tracked him down.
Well, because he led with his feet, it's where the ball is. So as he slides, you look at his legs, you think he's got a first down, but where the football is, he seems that he's about a half a yard short. Here's the AT&T connected cam. As soon as that knee touches, it's right where the ball is. So that looks like a very fair spot to me by the official.
Had to get right to the 35, of course. Offense on the field on this 4th down. Early gamble if they actually snap it. Right now, Hill is set up to take the direct snap in the backfield. Hoosiers crowding the line, and Indiana spent a timeout on defense. Wonder if DeBoer was actually going to run the play, if they're just trying to get him to jump offside. That's a pretty big gamble early in this game, Kurt.
It really is.
It's this defense, down 3. We'll see if he's in a gambling move when you come back. Kalen DeBoer not afraid to gamble, and gone for it on 4th down 34 times and converted 22, most in the SEC, but it would be curious to do it here.
It would have been interesting if he didn't call the timeout, Kurt Cignetti, with that wildcat formation at their own 34-yard line. If they were just trying to draw them off. Remember, Indiana's one of the least penalized defenses in the country, very disciplined, but after the timeout, now they show up with their punt.
Blake Dowd is out there. At least he got Indiana to spend a timeout. A little interesting formation here as they go up like they're going to fake it.
Not Indiana. They're not jumping.
And Simpson in there. They noticed the quarterback was in there. Wouldn't normally be in punt protection.
Nope.
And they're not biting.
Nope.
So many guys who played so much football. Kurt said, no, come on.
No.
Look who you're playing. That's
like I said, one of the least penalized defenses in the country, play with tremendous discipline. They were not budging. I'm sure they were not fooled by the way, Ty Simpson, a quarterback, lines up as a personal protector. What's he doing out here?
And nobody to push him, by the way. Had he taken the snap and attempted the sneak, they couldn't have done a push.
Now they call a timeout. Now wait a second now. Now they're bringing the offense out. Here we go again. How about this? After the shenanigans, we think they're going to punt, but no. They're coming out with the offense again.
Well, the offense is on the field. That is a fact. If they're going to snap it,
did they not see his facial expressions? He was not impressed.
That's a really plot twist.
This is big. Wildcat again.
Simpson far to the right in that bunch set. Bernard comes in motion. They pop it to him, trying to get the edge, and he's not going to get there. Indiana with a 4th down stop as DeBoer rolls the dice and Isaiah Jones spoils the plan. Wow. They typically go wide a lot, Kirk, when they just need a yard or two. Hoosiers were all over it.
Isaiah Jones is right here. Watch the job he does off the edge, getting off the block. Look at that defense flying to the football. 46 right there, sets the edge. There's Aiden Fisher coming in. And that extra effort by Bernard, you thought he might make it, but with that 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Hoosier defender coming in, here's the look right there. You got no shot. Great job by the defense from Indiana stepping up. And now they give Mendoza great field position after that roll of the dice by Bama.
Roll of the dice and came up craps. Remember that decision. It'll be second guessed if the Hoosiers can punch it in here from the Alabama 35. Mendoza pressured again and escapes. Trying to create on the run. A flag is down in that offensive line pit as Mendoza scampers for about 5.
Yeah, I think they're going to get a hold on Indiana.
Offense number 65, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's the consensus All-American left tackle Carter Smith.
Yeah, Carter Smith has he's not allowed a sack all year, but this time because of the movement by Mendoza, he's unaware that he's moving to the outside. And I'll tell you, the guy, Keon Keeley, who was highly talented recruit that came in, really quiet his first couple years, but we saw him last week at Oklahoma providing some depth and some twitch off the edge, that time going against Carter Smith and beating him, forced the hold.
So the first penalty of this game for either team could be huge as the Hoosiers are backed up 1st and 20 now from the 45. Hemby off the right side. Stiff arm gets around the corner, and Hemby gets all the yardage he needed for a 1st down and 2 more as Bray Hubbard could not contain him over there.
Well, Bray Lynch, the right guard, he works on a double team here and then climbs up to the backer. Good kick out block right here by the right tackle. Ojani, see that hole open up, and then he makes Hubbard miss.
Play with tempo, give it right back to Hemby, who falls forward for a couple.
Yeah, this is a team that believes they're going to be able to run the football on anybody they play. And when they're able to run, and like any team, it opens up their offense, but it really opens up what these guys like to do. They are a run for 2, run for 4, pop one like that, and then they get that safety, start to look into that backfield. You start to play action game. You create some one-on-one opportunities downfield, either Becker or Cooper, and they'll hit for big plays. A lot of explosives this year.
21-yard run there. They're averaging 5 yards a carry, the 2 running backs for Indiana so far. 2nd down, Mendoza broken up. Tried to find Becker, and closing nicely was Deshaun Jones to break it away.
Yeah, really good play by Jones. You know, Red Morgan has taken a lot of those snaps away from him in a slot with the way he's come on in the second half of the season. But sitting back there, reading the quarterback's eyes, he broke on that ball, drove down, and got that left hand right in front of Becker. That ball was thrown on time. That's just a great play by 7 that time.
Mendoza needs 8 on this 3rd down. This would be enormous for Alabama to hold Indiana to a field goal attempt after that 4th down stop. They're showing pressure. Here it comes. Mendoza has time. Goes end zone. Caught! Touchdown, Becker! Mendoza on fire early. The 21-yard strike.
Becker's lined up out here. Gets a one-on-one opportunity. Watch the block by the back. Really good job of picking up the middle linebacker And you give him soft coverage like that, Becker has enough twitch. We just bragged about how Deshaun Jones made a great play in front of him. This time he fakes to the outside, a stem, goes to the post, ball's out on time, up where Becker at 6'4" can go up and make a play and comes down with the first touchdown of the game.
The 3rd and 8 touchdown. Becker, who's one of the fastest receivers in college football. He's up near 22.5 miles per hour top speed. And Indiana cashes in after DeBoer's gamble backfires. 10-0 early second quarter in Pasadena.
Third down and 8. Kalon Black is back in the lineup. Here's the snap back to Fernando. Has time, rolling over the middle. He's got Becker. Oh, what a catch! Charlie Becker! Touchdown, Indiana!
Indiana legend Don Fisher's been documenting Indiana sports, more big moments in basketball than football, frankly, for more than a half-century.
Unreal. And of course, most of his calls, his legendary calls, go back to IU hoops.
Sure.
But how much is he enjoying this football program and where they have been able to blossom here these last couple years with Curt Cignetti? So many big moments.
Brooks is going to give it a go from the goal line and test the coverage of Indiana, but the Hoosiers fly down and stop him right at the 14-yard line. Let's go down to Chris.
Chris Ty Simpson went down to all of his offensive line and the skill guys and said, I need you to show more energy. Let's go, guys. This has been such an emphasis this week to be able to get off to a quick start so they don't end up like things were in Norman a week ago, getting down 17-0. So much so that offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb showed clips this week to remind the guys of what they look like in games where they do get off to fast starts.
Can be an emotional, excitable guy. Simpson has been inspiring at times for this team, and now, just like against Oklahoma, they're down double digits. Simpson on the move. Williams makes the catch, slung down after about a 5-yard gain by Sharp.
Just step back for a second. Think about this. Alabama, 3rd winningest program in history of college football. Indiana football, 2nd most losses ever. We're standing at the granddaddy of them all in Pasadena, watching Indiana up here early, 10-0 on Alabama. You imagine sitting in the state of Indiana. It's probably dark about right now. It's just a degree or two, and really a degree or two above freezing, and they're watching their Hoosiers in paradise up 10 on Alabama.
Well, the sun is beginning to come out here, bursts through the clouds, and Simpson on the move finds Bernard. Bernard has some space there. He got ahead of Aiden Fisher, and it's a first down across the 35.
This is a team that Alabama will not blink. I know they're down 10 and things look great. Good job play action. That aggressive Indiana defense out of position. Good job of coming back. Good, nice call there by Ryan Grubb. Able to get the linebackers flowing with the play action. They go back the other way, just trying to keep this defense. It's super aggressive. That time it was Hardy, the linebacker, that was out of place, chasing that play action.
There'll be no panic from Alabama. A battle-tested team. We talked about the comeback in Norman. That throw is off target. Trying to find Bernard, but Mikhail Kamara was providing pressure off the edge. Kind of got in the way of the throw.
Yeah, he did. And he, you know, with Stephen Daly down, Kamara's going to really have to step up. They're going to move him around. He doesn't quite get a hand on it, but he is a guy that they feel that needs to show up today. He had 10 sacks last year. This year, only 1. So has an opportunity. He's going to have to make some plays tonight.
Well, they talked about the contingencies without Daly being in there. Guys kind of shifting around, playing different positions, but holding up well so far. Landino with the stop. It's going to be 3rd down and 10.
Chris, it's Landino with the stop, but watch where he is. Watch how he's not just going. Watch, this is what they do. You know, one defensive tackle, 95 Tucker, he takes 2 offensive line with him. That's a design play, and then Landino pops around it, and he's right there to make a play at the line of scrimmage. It's like setting a screen in basketball.
Running the ball continues to be a struggle for Alabama. Early stages here. On 3rd and 10, Simpson had some time. Coverage was good, and he's flush, and he'll be stopped by Ndukwe. And here comes the punt team.
Now, Ryan Grubb's biggest fear was to not be able to get his quarterback into a zone, into that flow, in the rhythm. You know, you can look at an in-breaking route here and say, boy, if he would have just been able to kind of trust his protection, he at least had a chance to be able to find that. But right now, he's uncomfortable. And when he gets uncomfortable, because they rely so much on him in the passing game, this offense does a lot of 3-and-outs.
Jonathan Brady back in his hometown, LA native, catches the punt, and he's got a little space. Spun out of an arm tackle, falls forward, and the Hoosiers already up 10 will take over at the 45-yard line as the Heisman Trophy winner. It was a 7-for-8 start, has to build this impressive beginning.
The CFP quarterfinal at the Rose Bowl game, presented by Prudential, is brought to you by Taco Bell and AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Win 100 years ago today as part of their fight song. That was an enormous win for Southern football as a whole. The first team invited out here, Tulane, said, no thanks. We care about keeping guys in class. We're not going to go to the Rose Bowl. Imagine that.
That was a different time.
Alabama jumped in there and said, thank you very much. They came from behind in that game against a heavily favored Washington team. They're going to have to come from behind again today.
It feels like a good time. I don't know if that's play, but just possession with a 10-0 lead. Pretty favorable field possession. Maybe run the ball once or twice, try to get those safeties down, and take a shot. Why not take a shot right now?
See if Shanahan is thinking the same thing. Well, it's a play fake. He's got pressure, and he'll be sacked for the third time. The second time by Jan Zapier was a problem.
Boy, does he do a good job of being able to win. Just one-on-one right here, works to the inside. They get pressure to the outside, bringing that next level. But he's able to work inside. And you know, Anjani is a guard who kind of plays tackle and it doesn't have the longest arms. And Pierre is a guy that just continues to get better and better and more confident as a pass rusher. By far, Bama's best.
9 sacks now on the season. They'll run it on 2nd and long. And you get a nice chunk back with Kalen Black. Picked up 7, but it'll be 3rd down and about 12.
Black and Hemby, the way they run the ball, they run with bad intentions. Looks like he got dinged up there.
Black still down, holding his midsection. Well, they attend to him, who will step aside. Hoosiers need 12 on this 3rd down play. You can see as he went down, did he land on the football? Nope, that wasn't the deal. Saturday, our NFL doubleheader. I'm off to Tampa to see who's going to win the NFC South. Somebody's got to. Panthers and Buccaneers. If Carolina wins, they are in. And then the Seahawks and Niners follow. Joe and Troy. Joe Buck, a proud Indiana alum.
Absolutely.
Shout out, Joe. No doubt you're watching your team get off to a great start here.
And congrats to ESPN. Those are 2 incredibly impactful games of Week 18. It's amazing. Every year, the NFL, you get down to Week 18, you got 3 or 4 games that are going to decide everything.
3rd and long. Good protection. Zip down the middle. Ball is caught and then bounces loose. They'll rule it incomplete. They now say incomplete. Dejon Lee came in and popped Nowakowski there, and the ball came loose.
Watch Dejon Lee. It'll be from our right. He does a great job of coming off the receiver and hitting him right as he caught the ball and his feet came down. Bill is telling us that it is an incompletion. Heck of a job there. And Bill, hop in here because, again, fans see him catch the ball, maybe take a step or 2. Big hit there by Lee, a big corner at 6'4".
Well, we're showing it in slow motion again, too. But in real time, he did not own that football. He barely got it. He started to turn, but he did not make a football move. Incomplete.
Thank you for getting football moving. You didn't disappoint me. I know you took a step, but I get your point. Great play by Lee there. The Alabama crowd actually booing. They wanted it to be a catch and a fumble, of course. And the punt is going to be a fair cut by Cole Adams at the 7-yard line. All-State bus is here. Sam piloting to the back door of the Rose Bowl here, which you all say good hands play.
Deontay Scott jumps this, gives out Miami an early lead. They're up 14 right there. And then we look at a game from earlier today with Oregon. What a job the Ducks did.
Just took it away.
Yeah, took it away. Got it. I mean, boy, Texas Tech, you and I, we saw them earlier this year. We thought they had a chance. But Oregon, to their credit, especially defensively, stepped up. They advanced out to the semifinals and play the winner of this game.
4 takeaways, Kirk. Just 215 yards allowed by that Oregon defense. Simpson looks to throw on first down, squeezes it in there, short gain by Cuevas. Knocked down quickly.
Chris, the challenge you have with Indiana right now defensively, sitting back with 2 safeties, you would think, okay, the answer to that is quick game and throwing the ball over the middle and especially running the football. But you can't win the line of scrimmage. It's hard to run the ball. So Ryan Grubb is the play caller. He's trying to find some rhythm throws, quick game to get the ball out of his hands.
Second and short. It's Hill. He makes the short catch and falls for a first down in front of Hardy.
It's just strange to me, again, to think that Alabama can't run the ball. And they have not been able to run the ball much all year, and especially over the last 2 or 3 weeks. And that trend continues so far in this game.
I wonder how patient will play caller Ryan Grubb be with that run game, who's just been very, very hard to run on all year. Remember, this is a defense that allows less than 11 points per game.
And we've not seen Jam Miller yet. Doesn't have a carry today.
We feed Hill again, and big fellow lowers his shoulder. That's a productive play. Picks up about 5 on first down. Wicked made the tackle.
Yeah, here's an example of what we're talking about. Caden Proctor is a very talented left tackle. He's not able to get up to the second level. Aiden Fisher just comes flying downhill. So by the time they try to get up to these linebackers, they're by him.
It's the reason why Hardy and Fisher have made so many tackles. Simpson across the middle again, and a tough catch made by Ryan Williams. The Droughts have been celebrated. That was a tremendous catch as he withstood the big hit.
You saw the blitz right across over him. This is, as you said, Chris, we've watched him. Not only does he take the hit, but he had to extend his arms down and then take the hit. Great job there by Williams.
Alabama looking for a play to jumpstart this attack. That might be it. Another short throw to Hill. Not much after the catch.
Chris, let's go back to watch this. We got to celebrate this because Ryan Williams is a guy that exploded on the scene last year as a true freshman, and this year's just not been able to hold on to the ball. That's what makes this such a big deal. Pons, who's an all Big Ten corner, lowers the boom right there. There's a big hit. The timing of it was perfect. You'd think he would dislodge the ball, but Ryan Williams able to secure that. Heck of a play.
Very quiet last 4 games. This hasn't been utilized. By getting him early touches, they want to build on the confidence, and he should be feeling pretty good about himself after that catch. 2nd and 7. Riley is the back. Isaiah Horton is in motion, and Riley's going to be dragged down. So a 2nd and long run, and Dominique Ratcliffe made the play.
Yeah, and here's another example of why these guys are so effective. Just shooting gaps, slanting, moving, loops, stunts. I mean, how do you run the football when the backside is chasing down the ball carrier? You're thinking about the play side, trying to get a hat on a hat, and the backside shooting gaps.
So Bama 1 for 4 on 3rd, needs 7 here. Trying to get something going before halftime. Four-man rush, plenty of time. Simpson escapes and not going to slide. He's going to stay on his feet. Lost the ball as he was hit after getting first down yardage. Indiana takeaway. Isaiah Jones recovered it. They specialize in creating turnovers, and there's another one.
Yep, a good job here by Fisher, and then the corner Pons, who just made the big play that Ryan Williams held on to. You'll see him come from Ty Simpson's left, not this hit, but the next hit dislodges the ball right there. So Williams held on, Simpson's not able to, and that was a scramble for a first down that ends up, the result is a turnover.
And Simpson's been dealing with a right elbow injury. It's a bursa sack, and who knows if that was a factor trying to squeeze that football. It felt it pretty hard.
That hit was a factor.
No doubt.
He got hammered by Pons, and he should have just gotten down. He already had the first down.
Once again, Kirk, great field position, and this Alabama defense is in a position to try to keep this lead from getting any bigger. It's like Kalen Black is okay, but Hemby was in the ball game for that carry.
Yeah, they've been rotating them to see how the health of both these backs throughout the game, but Hemby and Black running hard so far in this game. Boy, Alabama had a big opportunity. They had crossed midfield, just got a new set of downs. They get the ball to start the second half, down 10, but the ball on the ground, to Indiana's credit, they jump on it. They're thinking points themselves now.
Not turnover prone all season, just the 13th turnover by the Tide. Indiana, of course, is tremendous at taking the ball away. 26 of them, and that's Mendoza with the keeper. Sets up a 3rd and 3.
They're not looking at the elbow. They're looking at, he's been beaten up really from the Iron Bowl on. He's had to do so much. And when you don't have a running game, your quarterback's got to do everything. Not only throwing the football, but he's scrambling, he's running, he's getting hit. He got annihilated in the Iron Bowl, had to come back against, of all teams, Georgia, gets blown up in that game, plays Oklahoma, now he's getting against Indiana. And again, they don't have a running game. So he's pretty much doing it by himself.
That 9-yard run before the fumble was the longest run they've had today. 2-minute timeout. Hoosiers near midfield trying to add to this lead, looking very much like the top seed of the college football playoff. Goodyear blimp up and running as the weather continues to improve here. Legends aren't born, they're proven. 2 minutes from halftime as the Hoosiers try to add to a 10-0 lead. You see Desmond Howard, Joey Galloway, they'll join Reese Davis for the Mercedes-Benz halftime reports. What are you laughing
Somebody
at?
tell Joseph Scott to tuck in his shirt. He's at the Rose Bowl. He's probably got sweats on. He's at the Rose Bowl.
We get a message to him.
I'm going to text him.
They'll have highlights of the Oregon shutout of Texas Tech and look ahead, of course, to the Sugar Bowl tonight. Mendoza trying to buy time, kind of weaving, swerving, and somehow finding space to scoot for a first down inside the 45 of Alabama.
Yeah, he runs like a baby giraffe sometimes, but it's effective. We saw him on his zone read. This is part of his game that's very underrated. Heck of a job by Alabama taking away those crossers. He's forced to have to create. You don't see him do it a ton, but he does it enough to make you have to respect it, knew exactly where he needed to go, and gets this first down. This is a big series for both teams.
I hear you. Awkward but effective.
Yeah,
Typically he scrambles horizontally. That time he goes up the middle and trying to get the perimeter as Hemby does get around the corner and picks up yardage inside the 40. Got 8 yards that time before Hill made the tackle.
Damani Jackson lost contain. He's been coming in. They've been very impressed once he got benched and Dejon Lee came on. They were impressed by the way he practiced. He didn't go in the tank. That time he lost the edge of the defense, and instead of a 2-yard gain, they're able to pick up 7 or 8. When I say it's a big series, a big opportunity for Indiana, huge for Alabama. They go down 17. It's a long road. This isn't Oklahoma.
Hemby falls forward. Yeah, it's an Indiana team that really doesn't beat themselves. As soon as we're complicit, certainly in that Alabama comeback. Another first down, and it just feels like a game where there's going to be limited possessions, ball controls, a specialty for Indiana.
And you see Cignetti kind of walking down that sideline, always has that intense look, but I think, let's go. I think he knows the opportunity he has. He does not want to settle for a field goal. He's thinking 6 points right here.
Conversation with the officials. Is he pointing at the play clock?
He's talking to Mendoza. Look at him. I got this.
Mendoza, such a high football IQ, prepares, uses those virtual reality headsets, so he's visualized every single thing he might see today. It gives him what it would look like to play in the Rose Bowl. Alabama white jerseys, all the things that they do on defense.
Incredible. I mean, he's a guy that already graduated at Cal, so he's really allowed him. He said he just has online.
Short. We're fixing the chain right now.
That's what Cignetti was fired up about. That's why he's saying, let's go, get the chain gang fixed. But he said he graduated at Cal. He said, my classes at IU have been online, so it really allows him to spend a ton of time on focusing on football and focusing on prep. And he would tell you the big part of his success this year has been the prep. He feels like he has the answers.
It's a chess match to him.
Yeah.
Loves playing that. Holly, he's been moving the pieces pretty effectively today.
That's right. He's been working with a sports psychologist all year, and he's really worked lately on, I have the answers to the puzzle. I know where the puzzle pieces need to go. But his preparation is legendary. Before he even got to Indiana, he asked for a sheet of every player's name and their face, a picture of them. So by the time he got to his very first meeting and his very first practice, he had memorized every single kid. So he stepped into the building knowing his teammates, being able to call them by their first names. And like the preparation is legendary, Chris, just like you said.
They're reviewing the spot here to see if it was correct. Right now they're saying it's third and about a yard. Bill Lamagna has his hand up. And call on you, Mr. Lamagna.
Looked to me like he had a first down.
Clearly, yeah.
You know, at least by a yard or so. So I'm not sure what happened there about where they picked up. Maybe the chain.
Blame it on the chain.
Well, you know, it could be because if the chain snapped or something, maybe the wing looking at the chain couldn't figure out.
Did you ever do a Rose Bowl?
No, because when I was on the field, it was Pac-12 and Big Ten, and you had to have neutral officials.
Well, you're one of the best. I can't believe you didn't get your shot.
I had a chance to do some others. But
I know you did.
Being here with you guys for 6 years in a row has been phenomenal.
Oh, isn't it great?
Great to have you.
Not a bad view.
You know, to follow up what Holly was saying, when Mendoza went to New York for the Heisman Trophy ceremony, nobody's ever done this as a finalist. Asked them to send him pictures of all the past winners who were going to be there with some bio, so he could study up what these guys had done. You know, in case he runs into Mike Garrett, and that is incredible. Think about that. No one's ever done that.
You didn't tell me that. I had no idea. The big thing is, did he pass the test? Did he go up to Mike Rozier and say, hey, how are you? Good to see you, Mike.
Hey, those 2,000 yards you had back there in 83 were tremendous.
The 33-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line.
Shows you how he thinks, man. No stone unturned on his preparation. It is a first down. Clearly a bad spot.
You know, it's the first time I had a chance to sit down with him in a room yesterday. And, you know, you have your perceptions and watching him, and you're really impressed. But then you sit down with him and you walk away even more impressed with the guy. Just, he's the total package and very comfortable in his own skin and how he goes about it.
Both he and Simpson call themselves perfectionists, but Fernando, I think, has learned that you got to be able to bounce back and shake off mistakes and not let it bother you. He's done that. It's been very noteworthy. That's why he's a Heisman winner. There's a handoff running left. And banging off people is Hemby. Another big play. And Indiana having success on the ground, 7 more.
Well, they're going to pull here the center and the guard, but watch the block by Surratt as well against the corner. Lee pushes him inside. So the second time in a row, they work that left side, and they're able to get the edge and get positive yards. This offensive line works in sync. Good job there. Good block. They're already in field goal range. Like I said, they're thinking touchdown.
Kalen Black is back in the game now. He's in the pattern, and it's a check down to him. Makes the catch, and Black quickly accelerates. First down near the 15. Got 11 more.
He's got just a different gear. You know, whether he's running the football or catching the ball, just the ability to be able to accelerate. There he is, just checking it down and then making a linebacker miss, getting upfield.
Tempo. Quick pitch to the sideline again as they are operating with efficiency, which might be Cignetti's favorite word out of all of them. And Alabama's reeling a bit on defense.
He said execution and efficiency. And like you knew when they got this ball with this opportunity, with a little over 2 minutes to go, they were thinking about this is a big chance here after the turnover by Ty Simpson. We don't want to be conservative. Let's get aggressive. Bama's trying to hold on here.
Mendoza spreading the ball around. 5 guys have caught passes and running a well. Black down to the 5. Interestingly, Omar Cooper is a tremendous receiver. Maybe the play of the season, the catch at Penn State. Hasn't been targeted yet.
No, not yet. But, you know, this is a offense that right now I think has a lot of confidence in how they are attacking. And I will say, for fans that don't know, Kalon Black, this back that you're watching, number 8, you know, he came over. He's another guy that came over, started his career at JMU, and you're watching him run right now all over Alabama's defense.
30 seconds to go, and with 1 timeout, no urgency there. Barrels for 4 more down to the doorstep. 18 seconds, and they will spend that timeout here.
In the inside, Pat Coogan to transfer from Notre Dame. The center really kind of setting the tone. Drew Evans as well, the left guard. You know, you think about Indiana, they're going to be able to win the line of scrimmage. Look at that effort in the interior there. And then you add into that the way the running style of these backs behind the communication and just the technique of these offensive linemen. It's impressive.
Holly?
Well, Kirk, to your point, Kalon Black's the guy that was always too little. They told him he was too small. He didn't get any offers. He ended up at JMU. And now he's at a big-time school in a big-time game. But he said he's taken a lot of inspiration from watching old video of Bo Jackson. He said, I just loved how tough that guy ran, how low to the ground, and his low center of gravity. And you're seeing that style. He's not Bo Jackson yet, but I do like his low center of gravity and toughness. Kirk, it's just what you're saying.
There's only one Bo Jackson, right? I mean, we agree on that. But you're right, Holly. And Black and Hemby are a terrific 1-2 punch. The passing game gets a lot of the attention, but tremendous balance.
Yeah.
Here they are on the doorstep now.
Yeah, I mean, it's still one of these offenses that is set up with the offensive line's efficiency and their ability to run the football. And they don't make mistakes. They don't blow assignments up front. You know, you move, you twist, you try to blitz, you try to do anything to kind of surprise them, and they really don't miss.
6 offensive linemen in here from the 1-yard line on 2nd and goal. No more timeouts to work with. So they're looking to throw. And Mendoza flips it. Easy pitch and catch. There's Omar Cooper Jr. And Indiana stretches the lead before halftime. What a show by the Hoosiers in the first 30.
Yeah, man coverage. And Omar Cooper, who's been making plays all year for Indiana, just runs away from Xavier Brown. It was a mesh concept, but really it was just the speed of Cooper. He outran Xavier Brown. Mendoza knew it all along, just waited for him to clear and just put it out in front of him for the touchdown.
Cooper lines up primarily in the slot. He was hurt the first series against Ohio State. Wasn't right in that game. Now back close to 100% and finally gets involved in a huge way as they take that Ty Simpson fumble and move it 58 yards for a score.
Yeah, they took advantage of it. And Ty Simpson on a big scramble. Looked like Alabama. They had a first down. Looked like they may have a shot to plus territory. Big hit by Pons. Indiana pounces on top of that, and then they drive 11 plays, 58 yards, and there's that man-to-man. It wasn't anything super fancy. Hit the 1-yard line, play action, just trusting Cooper to outrun Brown to the corner, and he does.
12th touchdown of the season for Cooper. Mendoza is 10 of 12. 93 yards, 2 touchdowns. Remember, this game started with a pair of sacks in the opening series. The Tide were swarming on the pass rush. Since then, protection's held up. And they've had tremendous bounds spreading the ball around. And Alabama, just like they were in Norman, down 17-0 in a playoff game. You feel the challenge significantly tougher.
Yeah, it is very different just because of the efficiency. And Kalen DeBoer 0-6 when trailing at half, so that trend will have to change.
I want to salute our good buddy Kevin Ash. 44 years he's worked the Rose Bowl game. Back in '84 he started. The first ever full-time employee hired by the Tournament of Roses. And he's now retiring after this game.
Yeah, he's one of the most gracious hosts that you're ever going to meet. We've known him for so many years, he and his family, and salute him and thank him for all that he's done for this great game.
You're here. Right, great first half for the top-seeded Hoosiers of Indiana. Comprehensive, complementary football. They've been playing it all season. They lead 17-0. Holly?
Well, Coach, after a first series that was tough, some sacks and a punt, your offense have gained momentum. How have you been able to do that?
Well, the defense has come up with some good stops, some pretty good field position. We had a nice mix of the run and the pass there and made some key plays. So, they came out early in the game all up. Blitz changed their presentation, threw us off a little bit. But, they get the ball first in the second half, and so still ball game.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Let's go to Chris with Coach DeBoer.
Coach, a similar hole for you. What do you need in the second half offensively to be able to extend drives?
Yeah, unfortunately, we've been in this spot before. We gotta come out of the locker room. The momentum's not in our favor right now, but I know what our team's made of, and I know what the character is, so we'll come out fighting.
Also includes getting some stops. How would you assess the job that your defense has done?
Yeah, the last 2 of the touchdowns have come on shorter fields. one of them's on me, obviously, and so just the decision on 4th down. But, our guys, they're making them earn it, and they make a couple nice plays there. So we just got to keep playing. That's what our defense does.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
In his 2 seasons, Alabama has not come from behind to win a game when trailing at halftime. Almost unbeatable when they have a halftime lead. A lot of work to do for the Crimson Tide as the Hoosiers lead it 17-0 at the break. You're watching the Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential. Mercedes-Benz halftime report after these messages. Set for the second half, the CFP quarterfinal at the Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential. Indiana comes in as the top seed in the tournament, favored and playing like it. 17-0 Hoosiers over the Crimson Tide. After 30 minutes, Alabama gets the football to begin the second half. Chris and Kirk back with you. This is an Alabama offense that hasn't hit 300 yards in any of the last 3 games, sitting there at 93 in the first half. What do they have to do right now to chip away at this lead?
I'm anxious to see what Ryan Grubb's going to come up with because, again, they're not able to run the football. Now you dig yourself into a 17-0 lead or 17-0 deficit. So now you think, okay, you don't want to become even that much more one-dimensional. You still are going to have to sprinkle it in as the stealth bomber's making its way in here.
The flyover delayed because of the bad weather, but, better late than never.
Let's just lay out and take this in. They just got to take this in. We'll talk about their offense in a second. I mean, are you kidding me?
This is a unifying thing. All the fans are up cheering.
Oh, they're excited. How can you not be?
The B-2 Spirit of America, 509th Bomb Wing from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri.
So anyway, what I was saying there was, no, really.
Stealth. People think this idiot was just good because they think they're still stealth. They're just good. Sorry. Now the Chick-fil-A move on the field.
Well, this is an opportunity to take advantage of some mistakes, and Indiana did. 4th and 1 at their own 34. They go for it. Led to a touchdown pass from Mendoza. What a great, incredible catch there using the extension with Becker. And then the fumble. After a scramble for a first down, IU's able to recover, leads to another touchdown. So going for it on 4th down in their own territory cost them. And then the fumble by Simpson on a scramble before the half. That's 14 points.
Everybody aware of the importance of this opening possession of the second half. Can they do what Ohio State was able to do, chip away against Miami? It wasn't enough, and there's a loss as Boykin with a tackle for loss. Chris?
I talked to Kalen DeBoer coming out of half. I asked him, how is Ty Simpson's health? And the exact quote was, we'll see. He received some treatment in the locker room. I watched him warming up. You could tell throwing the ball, he seemed a bit uncomfortable. DeBoer told his offense, listen, there's no 17-point touchdown. We just got to let it rip and be loose.
We'll see is not a very promising thing when the head coach says. Austin Mack is the backup. Very, very little work this season. Simpson, who is a tough guy, will try to grit it out. 2nd and 12, pressure comes, ball batted down, just rejected by Landino, one of your impact guys who's made a big impact here.
Yeah, it really has. This Indiana defensive front has had to make up without Stephen Daly, and they've done a heck of a job of just winning up front, trying to set up a screen there to the tight end gwes. But Landino, who's been doing it all year for this defensive front, great timing there to get up in the air and knock it away. Now another 3rd down and long. They're 1 of 5 on 3rd downs.
It's a receiving corps that the Hoosiers are very respectful of, but no targets for Latsier Brooks, who was huge in the playoff win over Oklahoma, a couple touchdowns, and Isaiah Horton also not yet targeted by Simpson. Protection holds up, long throw, it's gwes, but no chance. Not much after the catch for these Alabama receivers today.
No, they get you down. They've been doing Indiana's defense, the secondary, and the linebackers done such a great job. They're a great tackling team. So smart job there by the defensive coordinator, Bryant Haynes. Just rushed 4, sat back in zone, took everything away downfield, checks it down, and just makes a tackle in space.
So Alabama comes up empty. And Indiana will go back to work trying to build on this lead. I think any points from Indiana, like on this possession, and it becomes a real long shot for Alabama to climb back in this game. Dowd with the punt. Brady drifts back. Coverage is good. Nice punt, but the Gunners sprinting down there. Brooks making the play. 50-yard boot. Holly?
Curt Cignetti told his team in the locker room, listen, I'm sure that he's over there telling Alabama, we've done this before, come back from 17 to nothing. But I'm telling you guys, it's 0-0 right now. Every single play in the second half matters. He says, we've got to get them off the field on this first series. They've done that. The other thing he said is we have got to win more one-on-one matchups in the second half. If we do that, we win this game. Curt Cignetti with a great message to his team in the locker room.
He is not, well, he's one of those guys. He's from the Nick Saban school of just, like you say, 0-0, Holly. That do not take your foot off the gas. Continue to execute the way you did in the first half.
4 seasons under Saban at Tuscaloosa, including the 2009 championship season. And they came here and finished the job. And there are some similarities. If you're not familiar with Cignetti, you can Google him. But Indiana University of Pennsylvania, Elon, they made the FCF playoffs. James Madison, obviously, they went from the FCS into the FBS, but a national championship there. And tremendous success in his first 2 seasons in Indiana.
An experience of going places where they didn't win, didn't have a history of winning, figured out how to win. So I think that's what has made him be able to figure this out so quickly in Bloomington.
He's a very gifted evaluator of talent. That's partly what he did for Saban as a recruiting coordinator.
It's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
That was 2 years ago. It's been replayed a lot, but he continues to win and continues to defy expectations. You just can't believe that an Indiana football team can be this good. Never quite seen a turnaround quite like this. It's not just the number of wins, it's the things they're achieving. Beating Ohio State to win the Big Ten, top seed in the playoff, and here they are handling Alabama at the moment as Mendoza scrambles for a first down.
Yeah, I think that's a lead draw. I mean, watch the linemen get out in front. This is something that, again, they'll sprinkle in, especially in those 3rd and 2 to 5s. And he, again, it's not pretty, but it is very effective with those long legs at 6'5", being able to just use his vision. Just kind of finds room, good blocks downfield, gets behind him for first down yardage.
Black spun down. Yeah, most of the time when you see him scramble, he's running kind of parallel to the line of scrimmage, getting around the corner. He's a couple times today become right up the middle, very effective.
Yeah, he has. And to your point about the Cignetti impact, I mean, they're 3-9 in 2023, worst record in the Big Ten, to the playoffs last year, to the #1 seed and Big Ten champions this year, and right now with a comfortable 17-0 lead over Alabama.
Mendoza on the move is being chased, but he's going to get away from Big Tim Keenan, get around the corner. Ball knocked just as he stepped out of bounds, but that is a scramble into Bama territory, picked up 12 more.
Yeah, we're talking about his legs being a factor. This time, right away, there's penetration with Tim Keenan. He's obviously going to be able to outrun him. Picks up a nice block by Nowakowski. And then because of the man coverage, he's able to just pick up. Once he got outside, those defensive backs have their backs to him, and he comfortably runs downfield for another first down. Boy, this has got to be frustrating for Kane Womack and the Alabama defense. Just cannot come up with any answers to get Indiana be off schedule, get him behind the sticks.
Pitch to the edge. This is Cooper, who had the touchdown late in the half. And he is going to drag Red Morgan. They were not fully committed, let's be honest, at Indiana to success when Cignetti got there. He needed some assurances. Tom Allen, an excellent coach, but they were kind of caught off guard by the whole NIL portal. Would you agree? They weren't committing resources anywhere near what they are now.
Yeah, I think it's a very different approach. Tom Allen had some great moments, especially the COVID year in 2020, but things started to slide, and when Cignetti came in, I think there was a much bigger commitment from the university making football a priority.
Wack just continues to do what he's done all season long. Bounce off people.
It feels like Alabama, it's just strange to see. They're just existing. They're just out there. Nobody's penetrating. Nobody's playing with any fire. They're just, it's almost like they feel defeated. Like there's nothing we can do. Nobody's making an impact player. Not even trying, their hands on their hips. They're just kind of out there.
There's serious urgency here. They better be more than just existing at the moment, because if Indiana builds on this lead, another potentially time-consuming drive as Hemby picks up a couple here. The protection spotlight presented by Prudential. Protection was not good early on. A couple of quick sacks by Alabama. It's improved since.
Oh, man, it really has. They've settled in. The offensive line, which has been a strength all year long. And I think the difference from who they were a year ago to who they are this year, the combination of these two backs, Hemby and Black, 120 combined rushing yards, which has set up opportunities like this on their play-action game to Charlie Becker, their vertical threat. They've just been, after that opening drive, it's been them dictating things really on both sides of the football.
Mendoza scanning, and once again will take off. Goes right up the middle. Talk about frustrating again, whether it's a design run or a scramble. He picks up 8 more.
Yeah, I want you to watch the left guard just to give you an idea of the energy and the attitude here in protection. Watch Drew Evans. You need some help? Bang. How's that? And then, you know, everybody's covered downfield. At one point, they're going to realize at 15, the Heisman Trophy winner, he can run. You know, you might want to account for him because he's taken off and getting yards. A lot of times just off schedule and creating, but there's no eyes on him, so he just sees grass and he's taking it.
3rd and 1, looking to throw. Launching to the end zone. Surratt's out there. Touchdown Hoosiers. Pouring it on. "24-yard strike." And the Hoosiers hammering away on Alabama.
So you run it, you scramble, and at some point, they've done it all year. Mendoza's going to find a one-on-one matchup to one of his guys. This time it's Surratt, who's one-on-one against a true freshman Lee. A slant and go, isolated one-on-one, perfect route. Beat him by about 5 strides, and an easy throw for Mendoza for the touchdown.
They've had short fields in their first 2 touchdown drives. This one, 79 yards in 10 plays, almost 6 minutes.
Yeah, this is pretty easy. He's on the outside to your far left. You'll see him come into play. A little slant and go. Goes right by the freshman. Ball's thrown right where it needs to be. The offensive line has a heck of a drive. Indiana takes their first possession, and after stopping Alabama's offense, they go right down to extend their lead. They're up 24.
Straight out the gates, we scrapping. Clashes, passion, blitzes, all action. I'm in the trenches, stomping the yard. I came, I saw, I starred, I rained, I ball hard. Hit it.
Panthers can glitch the NFC South. They've been hosting a playoff game. Buccaneers need some help, and you get that showdown on the NFC West. Indiana fans, they said, "What do you think? Do we have a chance?" I said, "Have you seen your team play all season?" Yeah, I know they feel like it's a dream of a dream to win the Big Ten. To get here, they are rolling Alabama, and there's going to be a change in quarterback. In comes Austin Mack. Ty Simpson, who took that big shot in the first half, apparently is done, as frustrating as that is for him. So a backup will try to lead Alabama all the way back from 24 down.
The CFP quarterfinal at the Rose Bowl game, presented by Prudential, is brought to you by Allstate. You're in good hands. Capital One, what's in your wallet? And Gatorade.
Until today, that was it for Indiana's history at the Rose Bowl. 58 years ago, a couple of O.J. Simpson touchdowns. SC beat him 14-3. But again, the past irrelevant to this man and this group of Indiana players. Chris?
Well, this is going to be Austin Mack's ball game for Alabama. They have benched Ty Simpson. This was a coach's decision because of what occurred after this hit in the first half. He received treatment during halftime, but every time he threw the ball, he was grimacing, just did not have the zip on it. They were both warming up before this, and then coach went to Simpson and said, "You're going to need to take a rest." He did go into the injury tent. He came back out, tried to give the rest of his offense a pep talk.
You can see the emotion, though, when the reality sets in. We talked about Simpson's taking a lot of shots down the stretch of this season. Auburn hit him hard. Georgia really hit him hard. Oklahoma hit him hard early before that big comeback. But that shot was a crucial takeaway by the Indiana defense. And now let's see Austin Mack, 6'6", redshirt sophomore from Northern California. I guess you got to take this like one completion at a time, just one down at a time, and you're down 24 points.
Yeah, I mean, he came over with Kalen DeBoer, was at Washington. I remember looking at him as a true freshman when Washington made their run with Michael Penix, and looked at Kalen DeBoer one time in warm-ups, and I said, wow, this guy. He goes, oh, whew. I mean, he can flip his wrist and throw it 55, 60 yards easily. So he's got all the physical ability, just hadn't played a lot of ball.
Now, very few meaningful snaps. Simpson's played vast majority, just 13 for 16 as a passer. On the move here, big fella pump fake after he was beyond the line, Mahomes style, and gets out of bounds at the 39. Long strides.
Yeah, big, strong guy that has the ability to do a lot of things, not just throwing, but as you see running. But it has been a tough couple years for the SEC in this new 12-team college football playoff, especially against the Big Ten. You know, that's always a debate between the two conferences. In the Big Ten, not only Ohio State and Michigan winning the last 2 titles, but you look at the rest of these bowl games, boy, the Big Ten, is, for the most part, has flexed its muscles on the SEC.
Big time. Looking at a Big Ten semifinal. The Hoosiers finished the job here. Went to Eugene and won. Very hard-fought game. Mendoza came up clutch late, but Oregon peaking at the moment.
Yeah, it would be a rematch in the way that game went out in Eugene, kind of like Ohio State and Oregon last year when they had that rematch in the Rose Bowl, where Ohio State was at one point up 34-0 in that rematch, ended up winning the title.
Mack steps up, slings it downfield. Jeremy Bernard in stride, tight ropes down near the 30. Couldn't quite keep his balance, but right away, young Mack delivers. 34 yards.
Well, Bernard to go here and then down the sideline, but it's really this route that affects the corner by Cuevas. Watch him affect the eyes to the inside. That opens it up down the boundary. Good job of locating that as Pons, 5, who's one of the top corners in the country. He got distracted there with that inside route. And as I said, it looked like Bernard did a nice job of selling just an outcut and then ended up turning it up the sidelines. Good, well-designed play there by Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb.
First explosive play for this Alabama offense, and now the timeout. DeBoer sprinting down with the play clock winding down, spending his first timeout here in the second half. Tide on the move, trying to find the end zone. Sun peeking through here. Goodyear blimp enjoying a beautiful view. Tried, tested, proven legendary. Look at these Indiana and Alabama students here. Alabama students, hard to find belief here. Talk about Live Moss Student Section of the Year contest. We'll pick a winner at the end of the season. They're pumped up and made the journey from the Midwest out here. 1st and 10 for Bama. And Austin Mack in for Ty Simpson. It's his game from on out, and he finds Cuevas on the sidelines. Nice throw. It's going to be 1st and goal.
They working that right side again. This time to Cuevas. They're flooding that zone with too many receivers. You can see Pons. He's trying to communicate because he knew Cuevas went down that sideline. He's pointing them out to the safety. But Bama's thinking, hey, it's a 3-possession game. Let's try to score and get a 2-pointer, get it within 2 possessions.
Mack and Cuevas, of course, hooked up when each played for the Huskies under DeBoer. Williams goes in motion. And Mack on the move. Lowers the shoulder and will be knocked down at the 5. Picked up 4 yards.
Yeah, I tell you, the guy's playing with a lot of poise for not having a ton of experience. You know, in his 3rd year in college, he obviously knows this system in his 3rd year of understanding it with Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb. But he is a guy that I think is the one thing you wonder about with inexperienced quarterbacks. Are they going to hold the ball too long? This isn't practice. The game's moving fast. Indiana's going to come after you. Can he get back there and make quick decisions? And if not, just pull it down and run. He's a big guy, being able to pull it down at 6'6", 235. Indiana, the best red zone defense in the nation.
Mack from the pocket, slings it to Hill. It was an inaccurate throw. He had to go backwards, and he'll lose yardage on the reception, loses 5.
Think about this. They played 13 games, their 14th game that Indiana's played. They've allowed 6 touchdowns in the red zone all year long. Major area of improvement. And just remember, Bryant Haynes, the defensive coordinator, we talked about him earlier. We need to talk about him a lot more. I think one of the top defensive coordinators in the country. A lot of people don't know him and don't talk about him enough. Grew up in Pickle, Ohio, does a heck of a job.
Got to hurry here. They came out of the huddle late. Actually, they did get a reset of the play clock. So there is time on this 3rd and goal play. Got a couple plays to get the 10 yards.
Ball needs to come out, or he needs to make something happen with his legs.
Hoosiers showing pressure against the young quarterback. And they bring it. Mack stands, delivers. It was behind Brooks, who takes a huge shot after the incompletion by Lewis Moore. 4th down. And they'll send the field goal team out.
I'm surprised that they're going to do that. A good job, again, of simulated pressure. They showed pressure from the left, ended up bringing it from the right. He had just enough time to get it out because it had to come out quickly. There's that pressure right there. Hardy's always involved in trying to get there. Tried to go to the back shoulder fade, and the true freshman Brooks and he not quite on the same page.
So Connor Talty, up and down season, but he finished strong from 28 to get Alabama on the board here. Final 3 minutes of the 3rd quarter. Alabama drove it 65 yards. Took more than 5 minutes, though, and the lead is still 21 for the top seed. AT&T bringing you the playoff bracket. Again, the winner here takes on Oregon. That's January 9th. The day before that, Miami gets the winner of the Sugar Bowl. Ole Miss and Georgia, a game that we called earlier this season in Athens. At the time, it was Lane Kiffin on the sidelines, and they were going up and down the field. And Georgia couldn't stop them until the 4th quarter when Smart's defense got a couple of crucial stops and got the win. Talk more about that game as we get closer. I want to ask you, though, about the adjustments Alabama made on defense coming in. Kane Womack said we're going to blitz more in this game than we have, and they have about 50% of the time. Problem is Mendoza's 6 for 6 against the blitz, including the 3 touchdown passes.
Well, other teams have tried to come up with that answer as well. Ohio State played them that way. Oregon has played them that way. I think it caught them maybe off guard by surprise because of the way Alabama played the last 4, 5, 6 weeks of the season. A lot more zone, a lot more too high safety look. But then let's give credit to what this offense has been able to do. Mike Shanahan and company, the offensive coordinator, adjusted well, got Mendoza in a position to run the ball better and gave him time to throw.
Tide showing more man coverage also than they have all year, but the Hoosiers have been able to beat that as well. And Mendoza almost flawless, frankly. 12 of 14, super efficient, 3 touchdown passes, been a very effective runner, as you talked about.
Yeah. I mean, it's always a good game when you have more touchdowns than incompletions.
That right column, that's 20+ air yards, 3 for 3.
Yeah. I'll take a day where I have more touchdowns than incompletions. It's not bad. They've been playing again on their terms most of this game.
2nd and 10 run. Black spun around and knocked down after a 2-yard gain by Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor, the true freshman, much better job there. Indiana, again, they've had a ton of success running to the left, bouncing things to the left, and being able to seal that edge. That time, Taylor, the freshman safety, came down, made a nice play there. These backs are tough to tackle.
They're trying to come from behind against a very disciplined team that can be methodical, that can run and throw it and chew up clock. And they've got a quarterback operating at a very high rate. That's why this was a much bigger challenge for Bama than coming in behind against Oklahoma. They bring pressure here. Mendoza again gets it out. One more completion against the blitz, and that's Nowakowski, the tight end, rambling into Alabama territory, bouncing off people.
Chris, watch what Cooper and Surratt do. These two receivers work here, and they affect the safety because the tight end's going to eventually catch the ball. But watch these two receivers almost kind of set a screen there, makes it tougher for the safety, Red Morgan, to be able to come over and make a play. And then an unbelievable job by Nowakowski keeping that play alive. Shaking that would-be tackle, picks up a block by Surratt, and down the sidelines he goes. But that was a well-designed play with those receivers keeping Morgan back where he couldn't jump underneath that to be able to make the play in coverage.
Final minute of the quarter, they hurry and run the play up the middle. Look out! Oh, a shoestring tackle as Black almost got away from Hubbard for another touchdown. Picked up 16.
This offensive line is so well schooled. He's putting a 4 up. But this offensive line, led by Pat Coogan, look at them just getting a hat on a hat. They've done it all game long. They've done it all season long. Offensive line coach Bo Bostad deserves a ton of credit for what he's done with this group.
If you were a doubter, if you were skeptical about this team, behold the Indiana Hoosiers in the 2025 season, leading by 3 touchdowns over mighty Alabama at the end of 3. Fourth quarter coming up. You're watching the Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential. Kirby Smart has arrived in the Superdome, the All-SEC quarterfinal game, a rematch of the thriller we talked about earlier this year. Tight Georgia victory in Oxford. Lane Kiffin not being there, Charlie Weiss Jr. calling the plays. How big a factor in the Sugar Bowl?
Well, it wasn't a factor, obviously, against Tulane, but Lane Kiffin, let's not forget all those times on the sideline. Charlie Weiss calls the plays, but Lane Kiffin's presence, whistling, we called that game at whatever week that was. One of the best games of the year.
Yep.
The way it went back and forth.
Very entertaining.
Fourth quarter was the difference.
Yeah.
It's where Gunnar Stockton and Georgia started to build up a reputation of being resilient. And even though they would start slow, they'd find ways to win games in the second half.
Trinidad Chambliss was brilliant all game, but it was just a couple of possessions and things tightened up and the Dogs came after it and they made the difference.
Fourth quarter, they didn't score points.
Yeah.
That's when they got squeezed.
How about this Indiana offense, Kirk? 154 yards rushing, the same number passing. Perfect 50-50 talent.
That's pretty good.
Black bursting free. Hoosiers punctuate an incredible performance. And we still got 14 minutes to go.
Just a matter of time until one of these backs hit that second level and accelerated through it. Ends up being Kalon Black. What a job again. I'm going to brag about this offensive line all night long because they deserve it. These backs are talented, but what a job with the execution of what they're doing up front. Alabama, when you're getting run on like this, it's body blows, and you get into that third and fourth quarter, you start to get drained emotionally, and that's what we've seen here today. Indiana has more rushing yards than Alabama has total yards in this game.
Also having the last 6 possessions, 4 touchdowns and a field goal. TDs on the last 3. 31-3 Hoosiers. You realize this is the last Indiana Bowl victory. Trent Green of the Hoosiers in the Copper Bowl over Baylor, a shutout in 1991.
You guys are sleeping on Bill Mallory's teams. I used to play against Bill Mallory's teams. They are always well coached. You go back to Lee Corso, he had some great teams. So this is unprecedented what Indiana is accomplishing right now. It's so cool to look around the Rose Bowl and see these Indiana fans celebrate. Put the CFP to the side. For Indiana fans, this is the Rose Bowl. They're at the Rose Bowl, and they're up 31-3 on Alabama. This is like the greatest day in their lives.
Basketball provided some great moments. Indiana football
fan.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's incredible. Let's talk about this offensive line. Bob Bostad, again, the offensive line coach, bragging about him. He did a great job in his years at Wisconsin. Now he's doing it in Bloomington. talking about these backs and the ability to run downhill. It's because of the double teams up to that linebacker, creating these holes. We've seen Hemby, we've seen Black. Both these guys are getting downhill, but it starts up front against Alabama, dominating the line of scrimmage, getting up to the backers. In a matter of time, to one of these backs got loose and took it to the house, and they did that. But congrats to those guys right there, because that's where it starts.
130 rushing yards just between the tackles against Alabama today.
Yep.
Then Austin Mack put together some positive throws and a field goal drive on the move and just fires it into the bench.
Yeah, this Indiana team will not let up. It's not, we were showing, we were at the break talking about, man, they're up 31-3. Look at this. There's no like early celebration. They've got the tablets out. They're making their adjustments, and it's all because of this guy and the culture and what he demands from them, the type of players that he brings in. He talked about with us yesterday, bring in good players, but I'm going to bring in good people that love football and that want to work. And if you don't want to do that, don't come here. So it happened a lot faster than I think anybody expected, but this is not a surprise to him.
Not at all. Mack, he'll be sacked. That's the first sack of this Hoosier defense, and it comes from Mikhail Kamara.
Well, Kamara was the guy that had to step up, and he's done that tonight. Here he is right here. He just kind of works to the inside. You know, with Daly down, they talked about how he really needed to be the guy. I mentioned 10 sacks last year, only 1 sack this year. And what a job of finishing and coming up with his 2nd sack of the year. Took the challenge from his coaches, and he stepped up today.
40th sack of the season. But they've had a bigger impact than that 1 sack would suggest. They've had 13 pressures of Alabama quarterbacks. That's a good number. And on 3rd and a mile, miscommunication as Mack fires the ball. No receiver in the area. Isaiah Jones was bringing some pressure.
Yeah, this is getting tough for Bama.
Getting tough?
Well, I mean, trying hard here.
Yeah, there's no silver lining here.
This is, you know, this subjective world that we live in with teams, who should be in, who should be out, all that kind of thing. You know, Bama has definitely hurt themselves as far as their reputation on this big stage, not just this year, but overall.
No doubt. I mean, they haven't performed well, but they have to understand that they know football. They're playing a really good football team. And the better team is winning today. And Lee Corso, who gave the Hoosiers their first ever bowl win, looking on ecstatically from Lake Mary today.
And Indiana wins the Big Ten championship.
The CFP quarterfinal at the Rose Bowl game is presented by Prudential. Everyone has something to protect. Protect your life's work with Prudential. And in part by Taco Bell and AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Peter, that's some Prudential. There's a lot of light. You can go anywhere he wants.
Yeah. Well, he's got C, D, E, F.
I think he called plays with that credential.
He might
right?
be right now up in the booth with IU calling the play. The way they're looking.
I don't know if they need help in that department, frankly.
I think they're good. Appreciate the Rose Bowl helping my guy out.
Look, I mean, the name Hoosiers, thanks to the classic movie, is sort of synonymous with these plucky underdogs, these overachievers. And Mendoza's used misfits and cast-offs. That he admits that's kind of gotten overplayed. These are a lot of really good football players who are very experienced, and there's nothing plucky about this underdog group here. This is a sheer display by a really talented, well-balanced team.
I'm going to debate you on that because they are now. But if you go back to where they started, when they came out of high school or they transferred from JMU or Maryland or Navy, they were looked at as guys that are too small or a little too slow.
I'm not disputing that.
I'm saying they're a great football team now, the keyword team. But what they were before they got here, they were a bunch of guys that just kind of had a chip on their shoulder and have something to prove. That's why they're up 31-3, and they're playing like it's 0-0. This isn't enough for them.
Oh, no, I don't disagree at all. That wasn't my point. I'm saying that just this program overall, this group out here in the field is not some long shot, plucky underdog team.
Not at all. But when they got here as a group, and I think that's what's so great about it, is they really do buy into, in this world of the portal, in this world of just transfer and NIL, these guys, they really like to play together. You could feel that just being around them. And that's those intangibles in today's game, that's the secret sauce. If you can find a way to get that. It's hard to do. But if you can figure it out, you got a chance to win a lot of games.
To some, that stuff seems corny these days, but it's very real, and it is a huge part of their success. As Mendoza on the run just continues to sling it downfield to Omar Cooper Jr. Hoosiers look hungry here.
Yeah, they ran that route earlier, and this is one-on-one again against the safety, Deshaun Jones. What a route. Look at that separation. You got one-on-one. You got the Heisman Trophy quarterback. You move the launching point, roll him away from any kind of pressure. You get the safety to turn his back. Easy throw there, and a good job of separating there by Omar Cooper, who's having a great game. Only 3 catches, but 45 yards.
Hadn't had a target until the touchdown that he caught late in the first half. Back to the ground game, and Hemby off the right side falls forward for about 6. Holly?
You talk about the guys that came from a lot of different places to be on this team. And they said really the turning point of their season, Pat Coogan, their center who came from Notre Dame, told us was after the Michigan State game. He said Fernando Mendoza's uncles all came up from Cuba. He has a huge extended family, and they roasted a pig for many days, I am told. They had to actually hire someone to babysit the pig while they all went to the game. And that pig roast after the game with all of the team invited was the moment they came together as a team and knew they had some special chemistry.
Looked like a pig roast. That was the week after they had beaten Oregon. So he's breaking free. Hemby has turned to find the end zone. Alabama being humiliated.
This is embarrassing. Pat Coogan, the center. Drew Evans, the left guard. Right guard, Bray Lynch. Khalil Benson, the right tackle. Watch this entire group and watch just how they work together. Left guard picks up the nose guard. Center climbs up to the linebacker. Then you throw in the physicality and how tough the backs are with Hemby and Black. Man, I know Dan Lanning watching this game. I know he's already seen them. But the Hoosiers are going to be rolling into Atlanta with a lot of confidence.
Big Ten showdown in SEC country. 5 different Hoosiers have scored touchdowns. Alabama's never had a bowl loss quite like this, ever. Talked about the rematch that is in store in Atlanta. This was the game October 11th. This pick 6 tied the game up. Oregon had momentum. The place is going crazy. Mendoza calmly drove them down the field. Some great throws early, and then that back shoulder to Surratt. The ball batted in the air, and the interception seals it. That's when I think the nation really began to be aware, hey, the Big Ten's got 3 really elite teams.
I think that's fair. And like we talked about this morning on game day and early in this broadcast, this is a different Indiana team because they're battle-tested, going to Oregon, going to Penn State, going to Iowa, beating Ohio State for a Big Ten championship, their first outright since 1945. So they come into the postseason very different than where they were a year ago.
Austin Mack looked like he was struggling to get off the field the last time. Goes back out there, the backup. We don't see Ty Simpson on the sidelines. That big shot. Now he's back out here from the locker room. Having his equipment taken off. That big shot in the back that forced the fumble. Not really able to throw the ball comfortably after that. Very, very, for him, sad ending of this season. Some conversation whether or not he will return for another year at Alabama. I know you believe that would be the prudent choice.
Yeah, I think he should. I think it'd be great to see him come back and Alabama work hard to get better running the football, to take some of the heat off of him. I think he can really grow and develop with another year of playing college football and playing in these kind of games. It really helps guys develop so they're more prepared for that next step.
Mack, meanwhile, a pitch That sentence you just said makes perfect sense, but Alabama worked hard to get better at running the football, right? Not often in recent history we've had to say that.
Yeah. It's reality. It's where we are.
100%. They got to get better up front in the offensive line. Goodyear blip zooming over Los Angeles as the sun is now burst out. A little more work by that sun. But you can get these clouds. You can see the San Gabriel Mountains.
It's almost perfect timing. It's almost perfect.
Almost perfect would describe this afternoon for Indiana fans.
I don't think anyone's left a seat from the IU.
They haven't taken a seat. They've been standing the whole game. You brought it up. This is like a soccer crowd.
Yeah.
Ball batted in the air, almost intercepted. It looked like Tyreek Tuffer got a piece of it. And it was closer to their second takeaway.
Elijah Hardy almost had, after this ball gets tipped by Tucker. Watch 21. He's right there. He's got a pick six. He just doesn't catch it. He was gone. There's nobody in front of him.
Done a lot of things this season. Leading tackler in the defense. Effective on the pass rush. Didn't have a pick. That would have been a good opportunity to get one. Mack, long throw, catch made on the sideline by Bernard, and it's a first down near midfield.
Yeah, big arm, shows it there from that right hash all the way to that left boundary on a line.
Rematches in the CFP, always an interesting dynamic. We're about to see one in New Orleans with Georgia and Ole Miss, and begin to focus more on Indiana and Oregon Part 2. Mack, sideways throw. Gets made over there by Hill, who struggles to get out of bounds. You're going to see more and more rematches between teams in the Big Ten and the SEC in this 12-team bracket going forward.
Absolutely. Who do you like in the Ole Miss Georgia game?
It's hard for me to pick against Georgia the way they look down the stretch of the season. Kirby Smart just is able to get this just in, get his team peaking at the right time. There's times when this Georgia defense, we couldn't believe what we were seeing, including the first game against the Rebels, the Tennessee game. They couldn't stop anybody.
Well, the corners had a hard time playing the ball downfield, locating the ball downfield, and they just kept getting better and better and better with development and reps. Very different defense that Trinidad Chambliss will see.
And this pass rush coming after Mack, a second sack, this by Boykin.
Take a look at our AT&T connected cam again. Show pressure here, and then bring it here and drop here. Again, it's all this what they've been doing all game long. Try to create some confusion with the offensive line and protection, which they did. Late movement, give them a pre-snap look, end up bringing a different look after the ball is snapped, especially against a young quarterback, but completely fooled the offensive line, especially that left side.
And they're going to try a reverse flea flicker. Back finds Williams, who catches it way behind the line, gets a couple blocks. Ryan Williams, look out. He is electric with the ball. That big play coming way too late, but they get 26 yards down to the 31.
Yeah, that's a little razzle-dazzle. Ryan Grubb always has a few plays like that. They handed it off on a jet sweep. First of all, right here, hands it to him, then a flip, then back to the quarterback. Look at the convoy out in front. I mean, we saw J.J. McCarthy make that a similar play. Remember when he had to go up and somehow catch the ball and make a throw? But that time, that was the first time, like you said, we finally saw Ryan Williams out in space.
On this field, the game-tying drive against Alabama before they ended up making the goal line stand to win it in overtime. This is a little less dramatic than that.
A little bit.
35-point game. Now, the questions are two-sided here. Where does Indiana go from here? They go to Atlanta to see if they can back up the performance and try to become the first 16-0 national champion in the modern era of college football. You got to go back to the 19th century when they played all kind of wacky games against high school teams and played, like 16 games in a month and a half or something. But 16-0 because of the expanded bracket is now possible. Indiana's 2 wins away from that.
We all have a great deal of respect for Dan Lanning and what he's done. It's tough to beat Dan Lanning twice, tough to beat good teams twice. But one thing I'll say about Indiana is don't expect them to get out over their skis as far as thinking in uncharted waters, oh no, they're going to get a little bit too big-headed. They're going to get a little bit too many pats on the back. That already happened when they were in Indianapolis. They beat Ohio State in a Big Ten championship. They got a lot of pats on the back. Did that affect them? They showed up ready to go today. And I expect them to be the same kind of team when they head down to Atlanta against the Ducks.
Well, Cignetti, of course, who was under Saban, uses the rat poison. As Williams makes the catch, uses that rat poison, and a heaping helping of rat poison. You know, collectively, Mendoza winning the Heisman Trophy and a bunch of other awards. Those pats in the back, like Indiana football has never had before. Incredible job by this man and these veteran players of staying grounded.
I think sometimes you learn more about a team up 38-3 by the sideline shots than you do at any point, because you're not seeing a lot of guys that are just just messing around and just having a good time. They're still kind of locked.
I don't see any of that going on. They're not messing around over there.
Okay.
Pressure again, and off the hands of Riley out of the backfield. By the way, you saw Cignetti's face. Does that not look like our buddy Nick?
It does.
He never looked angrier or more upset than when his team was way ahead in the game. Right?
And he's taking the same exact thing. I used to always say that about Nick Saban. He'd be playing Arkansas up 40-0. I'm like, oh no. I feel so bad for A.J. McCarron and the rest of these guys. They're just going to get drilled on the sideline, and that's what happens with Cignetti, the same thing.
3rd and 3 here. Those are the Indiana starters who's still in there on defense, bringing pressure off the edge. Mack flips it down. Hill's not got a bounce. I think one of the visual takeaways for me from this game, besides all the plays they made, is right here. This arched eyebrow. That's the expression when he sees DeBoer going for it on 4th down early in the game. It was a 3-0 game. He shot that look, and they got the stop right there.
Why do I feel like that's going to be everywhere on the internet tonight? That look.
It probably already is.
Yeah, that is.
Love that eyebrow.
That scowl. Well, you can do that eyebrow. You got to look down.
It's a 4th down play. Mack, hit, and loses the ball as he's sacked for a 3rd time. Boykin has had a couple of those sacks. Still no smile from the coach, but they get the stop.
Well, they continue to kind of give these looks where they're affecting the communication. Watch this. Center's coming this way. We're going to drop here. You're going to bring pressure here, bring more pressure. They keep working that left side. And the offensive line, look, they're blocking 4 guys or blocking 2. And you got 2 guys blocking 4. That is all Bryant Haynes, the defensive coordinator from Indiana, confusing Alabama's offensive line. We all thought, what would they do without Stephen Daly? Kellen Wyatt's not here. How are they going to get pressure? You get pressure with the scheme, and a good job of timing it by Bryant Haynes.
AT Day connected and there's Mendoza out, Mendoza in, as Alberto will relieve Fernando Mendoza today. First game as a Heisman Trophy winner, 14 of 16, 192, 3 touchdowns. Came up with some clutch runs as well. It's hard to find fault with the Capital One rewarding performance from the quarterback here.
Yeah, he's been on point, did a really good job here. You know, after settling in, made some adjustments with the play calling. Able to get separation. You know, they kind of work it underneath. They run the ball. They create one-on-one opportunities, and then they're able to hit those big plays downfield. It's kind of been their MO all year long.
Yeah, the 3 rushes for a 1st down. 2 of them were on 3rd downs, besides those passing numbers. Alberto's pretty good too, by the way. Redshirt freshman, went to the same high school, Christopher Columbus High School in Miami, that Fernando did. And he's very confident. I mean, if Fernando makes a bad throw in practice, Alberto will say, wait a minute, hey, coach, put me, I'll make that throw. It's competitive, but loving and supporting.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Of course. How about the parents? One son goes out, you can catch your breath. Okay, he's out. Oh, gosh. Our other son's in. Still got to be stressed out a little bit.
Says smiling. Just one of many joyful Hoosier fans here today, but she's lived it, obviously, from the start. I want to go back to high school, and Fernando Mendoza is a picture of perseverance. Not a lot of offers. 17 football camps, 17 of them that mom drove him to as Alberto scoots out of bounds. just trying to improve as a player, but also get noticed by recruiters. It's an incredible story just to get to Cal, much less here.
Yeah. And Chris, how cool is this? First time since going back to 2015, you got two brothers throwing touchdown passes in one game. Both these guys, Alberto came into this game, and a nice throw to Charlie Becker. You don't see that very often. 2015, 10 years ago.
Different personalities. Alberto doesn't have the height of his older brother, but he's a speedier guy. Very elusive runner. Pulls it this time, could not escape the tackle. You know, Fernando hasn't said it, but I think it's pretty clear that he's going to move on to the next level of football. And then will there be another Mendoza as starter? Signetti obviously doesn't shy away from the idea that he'll pursue a quarterback from the portal again. And with his eye for talent, you know, that and his ability to develop quarterbacks, there'd be a lot of guys interested in that. Meantime, man from Miami is now one win away from returning to his hometown and playing potentially for a national championship.
What a story.
Wide run from Kobe Martin, who gets a rep in the Rose Bowl. Picks up 4.
By the way, I should have said the last time that happened was 2015. The two brothers touchdown passes in one game. Brandon and Austin Allen, Arkansas.
Yeah.
And guess who they were against? Ty Simpson's dad, UT Martin.
Wow.
How about that?
It's a good note.
Bringing it all in here. By the way, speaking of storylines, what if Georgia wins? How spicy would that be with Carson Beck against the Miami Hurricanes?
Plenty spicy. Georgia fans have not had a lot of love for Beck since he left. I don't really quite understand that. It was kind of like a
I'm thinking more
mutual
about
idea.
Beck being fired up against Georgia.
No doubt about that. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And he's playing at a very high level, would you say? We'll see what happens. The semifinals are set after the Sugar Bowl. Back after these messages, it's the Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential on ESPN. Two minutes away from the Ram Trucks postgame trophy presentation. We'll hear from the victorious Hoosiers. Greatest day in the history of Indiana football by a lot. Their second Rose Bowl has been a resounding defeat and one of the great programs in the history of this sport. Again, it matched up the team that has the third most wins and the second most losses, but history has been meaningless here today.
I think they got movement. Yeah. Alabama moved. I don't know if the ball made it move. No, it's on Bama. It's a first down.
5-yard penalty, first down.
And the Hoosiers erupted like that was a huge, significant moment in the game.
Well, when you practice something over and over and over with the hopes that it might be able to draw somebody off, and then it does, you react like that because it worked. That's a wrap. Take 3 knees and head off to Georgia and Ole Miss. I'm with you, by the way. I think it's going to be a competitive game in the first half. I think Georgia will pull away. I think Gunnar Stockton's going to make some plays. And I think the Georgia defense will get some big stops to end up. I think it'll be a good game early.
Undefeated regular season. Beat Ohio State in a battle to win the Big Ten championship for the first time since '45. First Rose Bowl in 58 years. Alabama's on the other sideline. And it's going to be 38-3 for Indiana. A dream of a dream of a dream. Did anybody at the beginning of this season contemplate blasting Alabama in the Rose Bowl to move on to the semifinals?
138 years of football in Bloomington. And this football game represents the pinnacle, I think, for this program. The fans, they beat Ohio State in Indy. They just
smiled. He smiled. I'm sorry to interrupt.
We got to rewind that. They beat Ohio State in Indy for a Big Ten championship, which is huge for them. They show up at the Rose Bowl. They haven't been here since 57 years. They beat Alabama 38-3, and now they're going to be favorites to win the national championship.
They are the odds maker choice with Ohio State losing last night. You're right.
Look at this is great.
They may not leave the stadium, these fans. The celebration continues over here.
Yeah, you got people crying. It's incredible. This is great. Good for them. Congrats to Indiana.
The Hoosiers hammer Alabama here in Pasadena and head to the semifinals, the Peach Bowl, for a chance to play in the national championship game. Two guys who traveled similar paths, mutual respect. DeBoer's team outplayed in every phase today.
Yeah, again, a lot of respect there. One of the things that we're about to hear from him, but he's going to he'll put it in perspective. It's a good win. He'll put it behind him, get ready to move on to the next challenge. And for Alabama, get into the offseason, make some adjustments, and try to come back stronger.
Sad end of the season for Simpson, unable to go after getting hit hard. This is the Ram Trucks post-game show. They're getting the stage ready for the presentation. In the meantime, let's get into Chris with Chris Ignetti.
Yeah, Coach, congratulations. How are you guys able to out-physical those boys from the SEC on both sides of the ball today?
We've been a pretty physical team all year long, and you know, it's a great win against a great football team with a storied tradition. And I thought our guys played really hard from the first snap to the last snap, and proud of them. And we got done what we wanted to get done, and looking forward to the flight home and a day off tomorrow, and we'll get ready for the next game.
What is it about the makeup of this group that they are able to, on this kind of stage with what's at stake, that the moment's not too big for them?
Well, I mean, why should it be too big? Because our name's Indiana. We got a lot of veteran starters. They've played a lot of successful football in their careers. They have high character. They got great leadership and character on this football team. And, you know, we've come through in the clutch moments. So I'm proud of the way they responded and prepared and met this challenge. And it's a great win.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Holly.
Here we go. Well, Fernando, Indiana continues to make more history this season. Why? What is so special about you in this group?
Well, first of all, my team and I want to give all the glory to God. What a historic venue, the Rose Bowl, one of the best venues in all of sports. It's just a great conglomerate of individuals coming together and really forming complementary football. Coach Sig has hit on us, no complacency. And especially when you have a bye, it's tough to get in the rhythm of football. But once we got our feet on the ground, we knew that we're going to stick together and come out with this W.
It took you a second. The opening series, you get sacked twice. You have to punt. I just saw Alabama defensive linemen coming over and hyping you up about how good you were today. How did you figure it out quickly?
Yeah, first of all, I mean, Alabama, super classy program, one of the most prestigious programs in the SEC. Shout out to them. I mean, they did a fantastic job. However, it's us coming together, and, you know, like I said, the month off, it's kind of like, hey, we got to get our feet wet. Once we get our feet wet, once we get the ball rolling, we're able to hit it in stride and able to put plays together, put, you know, first downs together, and then put points on the board.
What do you say about your offensive line, your running backs? This was a gut-it-out, grind-it-out game up front for them.
Yeah, it was a gut-it-out, grind-it-out game, and shout out the Hoggies. The Hoggies did fantastic today. Without them, we wouldn't be 38-3. The Hoggies, you know, I believe our Hoggies are the best Hoggies in the nation, and just really can't thank them enough. You know what I mean? Like, not only is it a great group of guys, but also a great group of football players, and just speaks such a testament to all the Hoggies.
You talked to me a little bit about you win the Heisman. There's a lot of eyes and pressure and expectation. How did you not let the pressure of that weigh on you today and play free and play well?
The only reason I won the Heisman is because I am one out of 22 players on the Indiana football team. Our team, it's a team award. You know, our team performs fantastically throughout the entire season, and I was blessed and honored by God to be able to receive that award. And now all I got to do is do my part in this great unit in order to try to get a win every single week. I'm so honored and blessed to be a part of this team, this sports staff, and this coaching staff, and I can't thank God enough for this.
Just quickly, what are your early thoughts on a rematch with Oregon, a team you've already beaten this season?
That's the first time I actually heard that Oregon won. It's got locked into the game. However, Oregon, fantastic Big Ten opponent. We went over there, and it's really hard to beat a team twice. Oregon, Dante Moore, you know, Dan Lanning, and their defense coordinator, Lou Poi, new head coach Academy. Those guys are legit, and so I think it's going to be a great matchup. Can't wait to play some good football against that. I think it's going to be a great matchup. All respect to them. I mean, I got to get the game plan. You got to get to watching film now. They're a tough opponent.
I'm going to give you a few minutes to go enjoy this one. How about that?
Thanks so much. God bless. Have a good one.
There's Mendoza's day. I tell you, he's a hell of a football player. We know that. He's a unique personality, too. He was nearly as emotional as he was after winning the Big Ten, and composure, just efficiency all day.
Yeah, efficient, running the football, made some adjustments against the Alabama aggressive approach. They got him 3 and out early, and then IU was able to settle down, win the line of scrimmage. Once they started to win the line of scrimmage, it really set up their play action and their vertical pass game. Against man coverage, they won downfield.
You probably figured it out, but the Hoggies, you kept praising that would be the offensive line, and they did a great job, and you felt like they might be the most valuable group of players on this entire field today.
I felt so. I felt it's probably been and he does a great job of deflecting, and he should, because of the way those guys have played. I would argue that that's the most efficient offensive line in the country, and they have been all year. They showed it again today. I felt that Pat Coogan in the middle kind of represents that, the Notre Dame transfer, but it's across the board. They're so well schooled, and then they get their running game going. That was Alabama. I mean, they're running through them, and it puts Mendoza in a very favorable position because you got to play man-to-man because of that running game, and then he's going to pitch and catch all game long.
And, oh, by the way, the defense, did their part, holding Alabama to 3 points as they've done all year long. Mendoza, unique interview style, looks right in the camera and talked about that rematch with Oregon. It'll be interesting.
The Ram Trucks postgame is presented by Ram Trucks, official sponsor of the College Football Playoff. Nothing stops Ram.
We'll get back to the Ram Trucks postgame. Indiana led 17-0 at halftime. It just kept rolling, more than 2-1 edge in yards, 407 to 193 for the Big Ten, and now Rose Bowl champions. Down to Reese Davis for the Rose Bowl Prudential Trophy ceremony.
Chris Fowler, thank you very much. And thank you to everyone who came out, endured the weather early, and had another spectacular day in Pasadena for the Rose Bowl. We want to congratulate Alabama on an outstanding season, but this day belongs to the #1 and still undefeated Indiana Hoosiers. We'd like to give our thanks to Prudential for their support of college football and the 2026 Rose Bowl game. And now to present the Rose Bowl's Leishman Trophy for the first time in Indiana history, here is the president of the 2026 Pasadena Tournament of Roses, Mark Levins. Mark.
Coach, on behalf of the College Football Playoff at the Rose Bowl presented by Prudential, it is my honor to present you with the Leishman Trophy. Congratulations.
Thank you. Well, you know, for a couple of years now, I would say you've been smelling like roses, but now you really are. How would you describe the efficiency, the precision, the discipline that your team showed with one of the best performances we've ever seen on this field?
I mean, this team has been very consistent most of the season, all 3 phases. Got a lot of senior guys, played a lot of football with great character. They're good players, and we've been very efficient. But it's a great win. A lot of respect for Alabama. It's a great program, great tradition. It's a great win for us. And you know what? I'm just so proud of our staff and our players. And a special thanks to President Pam Whitten, Scott Dolson, our AD, for making the commitment where we have a chance to be successful. And it's a great win. And tomorrow will be good. We all got a day off, and then we'll get ready for the next one.
Well, that's one of the remarkable things, Kurt, about what you've been able to accomplish. With the way you guys have turned around this program, you keep setting a new standard for the greatest moment in Indiana history. First, it was winning a game like Oregon on the road. Then it was beating Ohio State for the Big Ten championship. Now it's winning the Rose Bowl for the first time and going to the semifinals. How would you describe the turnaround and what you've been able to build in a short period of time?
It'd be a hell of a movie.
Who would star as Kurt Signetti in the movie?
I don't know about that one, but there'd be a big cast of characters because it's all about people. You got to have the right people on your staff, the right guys in the locker room, and we've been very fortunate. And these guys buy in. They all think alike. They play like we want them to play. There's been a lot of firsts. It is kind of surreal. There's no doubt about it. I understand why there's been a lot of skeptics, but I only have one thing to say. Hoosiers!
And perfectly said. Kurt, congratulations. The 2026 Rose Bowl champions. And now, we want to introduce you to the MVPs from this game. Now, I know what you're thinking. Indiana's got a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. This is a guy who threw more touchdown passes today than incompletions, but he always spreads the wealth. He always spreads the wealth. And he talks about his teammates and his offensive line, and the offensive MVP from the 2026 Rose Bowl is Pat Coogan, the leader of the offensive line. Pat, first of all, after the Heisman Trophy ceremony, I saw you stuck in the airport with me, so congratulations on getting back to Bloomington and getting back here. What is it? You played the national championship game last year with Notre Dame. Now you come here pursuing another one. What's this been like? How would you describe the secret sauce to giving this team success?
Well, first of all, I just want to thank everybody for showing out and making this Memorial West. These last 10 months have been the best months of my life, and I'm just so grateful for my teammates, Coach Cignetti for bringing me here, Coach Postad for believing in me. These guys are fighters, and we got more to get done.
So we'll take a peek ahead. I talked to Sig about the fact that you guys have taken steps. Each moment seems to be the greatest in Indiana history, and there's still an opportunity for another one. What about the rematch with Oregon? Haven't had a chance to think about it much yet, but looking forward to a couple of great Big Ten teams squaring off.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great opponent, but we just got to take it day by day. We got to get back, fly back. We'll fly back, get back to work. It's going to be a great game, and we're excited to get out there, but we got to work and put the prep in.
I know you've been there less than a year. What do you think it means to these people? I had some of your fans saying that they would stop and laugh and then start to cry because they're so happy. What does that mean to you as a player?
It's unbelievable. Like the support of Hoosier Nation is something I've never seen before. I'm just so grateful for everybody. People have said to me after Oregon, after Ohio State, it's been the best days of their lives, but I promise you it's the best day of our lives winning this Rose Bowl. So thank you to everyone for showing out. This is unbelievable, and we got way more work to get done.
And maybe another best day coming. This Indiana defense has been sensational all year, and it was sensational again today. And the defensive MVP of the 2026 Rose Bowl is D'Angelo Ponce. D'Angelo, I don't know if you realize this, for all of the great things you've accomplished, let's get the man a rose, let's get him a trophy if he's got it. There we go. For all that you've accomplished, the big hit you delivered and forced the first fumble of your career, how do you think that impacted the momentum of this game?
I think it was a big effect on the game. I just did my job, and it all worked out.
How important was it to you guys, once they've got points on the board, then to make sure they didn't get in the end zone?
Just doing our 1-11th. That's our job as a defense, just to stop them from scoring, and we did that.
As you look out at this crowd right now and you see what it means to all of these Indiana people, how they've supported you, particularly since you came over, what does that mean to you as a player?
It means a lot to me, man. It's a legendary feeling, just them supporting us, and it's grown tremendously this year, so yeah.
D'Angelo, congratulations, spectacular performance. Congratulations on the Rose Bowl championship. And next stop, the college football playoff semifinals as the Hoosiers continue their pursuit of a national championship. Chris Fowler, back to you.
Reese, thank you. D'Angelo Ponce, like Mendoza, both of them from Miami. So one win away from returning to his hometown potentially to play for a national championship. I love the presentation of the MVP. We'll get to that in just a second here. But Trinidad Chambliss And the Ole Miss Rebels trying to avenge the earlier loss against Georgia. Did a lot of positive things. He threw for 263, couple touchdowns, ran for a couple touchdowns. Wasn't quite enough that day.
No, and keep in mind, they didn't run the football with Kewan Lacey. They're going to have to be able to get that running game going if they're going to be able to move the ball against a much improved Georgia defense.
So the Big Ten Conference, which has been the strongest at the top of the conference by far in the sport this season, is guaranteed a team in that national championship game in Miami, the survivor of Oregon and Indiana. January 9th, those games are coming up quickly here. It's a week from today that Miami will get the winner of the Sugar Bowl we're about to see. You saw Pat Coogan's reaction. Whoever had anything to do with him getting the MVP in the offensive line, Kirk, what a great moment. And how excited were they to see the offensive line recognized for that?
One of the traditions they do here, which I think you and I really love, is they've done it forever, is whoever calls the game helps pick picks the MVP. And we were talking in a break about, well, you got Mendoza and this and that. And it's like, man, this offensive line, if you could give it to all of them, why not give it to Pat Coogan, who kind of represents who that offensive line is? And it was a very cool reaction to see Mendoza. This is what Pat Coogan did. Remember the Notre Dame transfer and kind of became the anchor. I mean, look again.
Tim Keenan, by the way, is across the line from him today.
Yeah, 340-pound guy that he's moving around. But look at the technique that these guys use. You got tough running backs, but very, very deserving. And you could see, based on the way he was interviewed there by Reese, what he's meant to this team and the leadership. And look how fired up his teammates are. Have you ever seen an announcement for an MVP and a reaction from the teammates like that?
The same thing when Pons was the defensive MVP. The guys were excited for him. That says a lot.
Really embodies, I think, who this team is and how much love they have for one another. And what I love is they're ready to try to put this one behind them. Like you said, it's coming up quick. You know, they got to get ready for Oregon. And I'm sure they'll do that starting tomorrow.
I think Cignetti's already put it behind him.
He smiled twice, and off we go.
The Hoosiers.
Yeah, that was
fun. That's out of character, typically what you see. The guy who's very businesslike with his team, doesn't give long speeches, values efficiency, doesn't try to buddy them up. It's a kind of a different approach. He is all business, but the guy can evaluate talent and knows how to push buttons.
You know, when he was at Alabama, part of his job was a recruiting coordinator. So, I mean, you're getting started early years of Nick Saban at Alabama, kind of starting to build that dynasty. He was one of the guys, like you say, evaluating players and finding guys who fit, not just great players, but who fit the Nick Saban blueprint. Now he's doing that. He did it, JMU, and he's done it at other places, and now he's brought that same blueprint to Bloomington. In 2 years, we can see the results.
Rematches have an interesting dynamic. This one will be for a spot on the championship game. Obviously, that's super compelling. We've had Georgia and Alabama, square off for the national championship in their second meeting of the season. But you go back, you look at the first game to figure what didn't work, what did work, and then you anticipate that the opponent's going to adjust, and you got to try to think outside the box a little bit sometimes.
All you got to do is go back to last year with Oregon. I mean, Oregon and Ohio State played in Eugene. It was a very competitive game. Oregon won the game, and then when they played out here, obviously it was a very different story. Ohio State's able to just take control of the game early. Sometimes, we see it in the NFL all the time where teams within the same division play twice. I think there's a little cat and mouse game, but at the end of the day, you got 13 or 14 games under your belt. You kind of are who you are. You could throw a few wrinkles, and I'm sure they'll do that, but Indiana, they've been the same team that we just saw all year long, and that's not going to change when they show up against Oregon. As Coach says, it's going to come down to execution.
Dante Moore was harassed pretty consistently by the Indiana defense. This was the play that you thought, okay, Oregon at home, this pick six ties the game. How's Mendoza going to respond? It was a great drive. There were a number of good throws. That's Surratt, eventually the winning touchdown. They seal it here.
Yeah, they sit with the interception, but you're right, that back shoulder fade to Surratt. I think a lot of people, it's in Eugene, it's Oregon, they're going to win, it's what they do. I think that, as you said earlier in the broadcast, that was the first sign of like, wow, this is a really good Indiana team to go into that venue and be able to win. So Dan Lanning, hey, let's not sell Dan Lanning and the Ducks short.
No.
They are going to be fired up for a chance to avenge that loss at home. And they felt that on the other end last year against Ohio State. Now they get a chance this year to do the same against Indiana in a neutral site.
Two teams that are tremendous in the trenches. We talked about the Hoosiers O-line. Oregon just dominated Texas Tech in the line of scrimmage. So another great battle for a spot in the championship game between two Big Ten rivals. It's weird to think of Oregon, Indiana. What a monster game in the Big Ten. It's still a funny sound, right?
No doubt.
One of them's going to play for a championship. One-sided, but we hope you enjoyed it today. Bill Bonnell produced his 16th Rose Bowl game. No other producers close. Jimmy Platt, again, great job directing it. Such appreciation, gratitude we have as we begin a new year with this crew that did a great job all season long. We will see you in the semifinals. For Kirk, Holly, Chris, and Bill, Chris Fowler saying so long from Pasadena and kicking it to Reese.